I'll just
portal.
leave. I can leave.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Well, we're live. Hello.
They all hate me.
Oh, hey, Brad Daddy's back. All right. Hi, guys. We're live. How's everyone doing today? How's everything going? Today we are joined by I want to call you guys victims, but at the same time, I think you're not really victims. Well, at the same time, you are. But we've got some cool people from the ADL, and I'm very excited to hear their story without the other parts of said ADL. So, welcome, Mac and Mara. I know we have others joining today as well, so that's going to be awesome as well. But, howdy. How's it going?
Hi, it's nice to meet you guys. I would say we are survivors.
Yeah, survivors. That's a way better.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely survivors. I'm never gonna be a victim.
I love that.
ADL survivors.
I feel like ADL was such a silly name as well. Like, I remember, just to like start it off with, I remember when it was first announced, and I was like, hey man, I even commented on it, and Van got really like defensive, but I was like, is ADL gonna have any dudes? Because this is kind of like any girls, because this is kind of starting to sound a bit gay. And then
So yeah, that was the thing. I was again. I mean, I've said this a couple times previously, like publicly. I was part of production, and then I became a plant, and I wasn't intending on being on set. I had done a lot of the art and the assets for the show.
Yeah.
And the thing is we had not actually originally chosen that name. Mac has done a fantastic job of telling people as to why we did not go with Great American Challenge, if he'd like to reiterate that.
Well, originally we were New America, and I really like that because like I wrote this whole like political story that was going to go with New Dawn, a New America, and then they changed it up to Great American Challenge.
Yeah.
And the Great American Challenge, I looked it up, and when you go to Google Images, it showed up as a well, I'll stay
Phallic object.
yeah, it was a 4-foot like phallic object.
Oh.
And then we're like, okay, we can't do that.
What?
So they changed it to ADL,
Whoa.
American Dude Lodge, and
Is it kind of like?
and ironically enough, sorry.
Is it kind of like the Moby Dick?
Yeah, except it's purple.
Oh, hey! Big purple.
So
It's purple.
with that said, with that said, John had a vote and they changed it to American Dude Lodge, and ironically enough, Van ended up getting all of the women for the show, basically, except for Arichelle.
Oh man. Okay. Well, let's talk about like how did you guys get in, like, especially you, Mac. How did you guys get like involved with like John and everything like that? Because that was something that I don't know, like, I guess I take people for like face value, and I couldn't really trust John as far as I could throw him. But like how did you guys get involved? Like, tell me about that kind of stuff, because that was like the start of like the craziness, you know?
Well, I can go first, and then I guess Mar and Arichelle. So I was just a random fish tank fan, and my buddy hit me up on Discord. That was Hades Moon. Goes and says, hey, there's this one dude that's messing with John. Now, Hades Moon was a mod in John's Discord, and this was another creator by the name of Pot Awful, who was going and spamming John's Discord with all kinds of stuff. I go and I join it, and I explain to John basically who this Pot Awful guy was, and then that kind of put me on John's radar. And like I said, I'm a fan. I thought that this guy was just, a dude with autism, and I'm like, hey, let's not let people mess with him.
Yeah.
And that slowly turned into me giving him ideas for Blood Games, and then me giving him ideas for other stuff, other content that he was doing, and then I was brought in as basically like an unofficial writer for just giving him ideas. And that turned into me being a writer on the show.
Cool. Okay.
I'm really curious to hear what like Arishel's intro is to dealing with John. I'll just give you a quick rundown of how I got involved.
Okay.
So I was mutuals with Love America. I knew him because of all of the kind of crypto projects that I've been in, like Web3 and whatnot. I did a lot of different mock-ups for merch and marketing stuff, and like whether it be like literal memes or actual physical real world assets and clothes and whatnot. That was kind of how I got to know him. He had put in his Telegram for his coin that was launched on a new platform from Retard Global. He had put like, hey, I have this project with John from Fish Tank. I need someone who will do, you know, like assets and art for the stream, basically. And I was thinking to myself, like, well, I just kind of re-entered the whole digital art, graphic design, mock-up, you know, that whole realm of stuff again, because I used to do it for my own business. And I was like, this would be a great way to start my portfolio, is something with like, I didn't know John personally. I had, of course, I was a Fish Tank fan as well, but it was more in the intro of like, here's a trustworthy person that knows John. Let me go ahead and, you know, get involved with them. And then they kind of brought me into their whole new Christian order and whatnot, me being a Christian. And I was like, absolutely, you know. And I started from there, basically made assets for the stream. I redid them several times because we changed the name. So I had redone them probably 3 or 4 different times, made the logo, did a lot of that. Even whilst on the show as well, I did, you know, marketing stuff for one of their sponsors with all of the assets I made, or like stickers on the show for the chat. So that was kind of my intro, was because of Van, Love America.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I met John through his good friend at the time, Blue. We were in a relationship, and yeah, he like basically saved him from like a crazy Muslim that was like trying to like kind of hold him hostage. I don't even know if the story that he's saying is like actually true, but that's the story that he told us.
Okay.
To like literally pick him up off the streets, give him a place to stay, drive him around. Yeah, it was like. So that's how I met John. It's just literally picking him up off the streets. Yeah.
So like a dog or something. You just kind of got him in your car and drove him around. That's crazy. The thing is, like, I appreciate John as an entertainer. I think that he is a really great entertainer. I think that he is funny and a little bit silly, but he is also probably one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever met. And that's from like an outside perspective. Like in almost everything that he says, you can find a part when he, like a time when he's gone against it. And that has made me very much not believe anything John says anymore. Because like, I guess with the ADL and everything, you know, like even leading up to it, I was like joining the spaces that people were doing and like talking about ADL and all the rest of it. And they were so horrible to everybody who was on there, even people who were like supposedly helping with ADL. So like they were awful to Shorty, they were awful to like all these people. Like I remember at one point, like I even commented on it under the space, like, hey, John.
I hate to cut you off, but could you tweak your settings? You're very quiet on stream.
I've actually like turned it all the way up. I can do this though, if this helps. Hello. But okay. But yeah, like he was horrible to Shorty. He was horrible to horrible to a lot of people. And then to go through with it, like I don't know. I wasn't like hoping his downfall, but like I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't, you know, make the best of it, just from what was going on like, leading up to the show, especially, you know. But let's hear about it. Let's dive in.
Yeah, so I was helping start beef with people on Twitter because I was one of his Twitter handlers for the longest time. I didn't really like, nothing was serious. It was all just like, okay, how about we like poke fun at Alex B just a little bit, and that gives more engagement to John. As far as actually like doing the spaces and such, is that Augie?
That's me.
Augie, hello.
Hey, man.
Thank you.
Hey, bros.
Thank you for joining us on your holiday. I heard that you are on holiday, so thank you for taking time out. That's really, really nice of you.
Yeah, I'm in Tampa right now. I went to CPAC to see to see the Temple of Kirk.
I don't know what that is. I'm Australian.
Yeah, so there's this guy named Charlie Kirk with Turning Point USA.
Yeah.
And Turning Point USA has this leader. His name is Charlie Kirk. He's a pretty cool guy. We went to eat at his crab shack yesterday.
Fuck yeah. Crabs. Love that. Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
We're just hitting on the lead up to ADL and how everybody has been in it and working on it. So welcome.
Yeah. I'll go back to what I was saying. So essentially, I was helping with the Twitter. I was not part of the Twitter spaces at all. As far as I was concerned, I need to just focus on my job, which is writing the show.
Mhm.
And like there was a bunch of internal drama that happened with the show, and I don't know. Reflecting back on like being part of that whole experience, John brought us all in as if we were equals.
Yeah.
And then as it slowly went on and on and on, he would intentionally like keep information from us. And what he was essentially trying to do is he was trying to turn us all that were on the show into basically followers.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of got the vibe of. And if you weren't a follower and if you were challenging him, you usually would get kicked out of the organization.
Oh, so
that's
he was
kind of like
Jim
what I
Jonesing
picked up
it,
on.
basically. Yeah.
That is the exact what analogy? Yeah, that was the exact analogy that I've been giving. Like it was completely like Jim Jones, drink the Kool-Aid, Scientology cult stuff.
Okay.
That's the best way to explain it.
That's
I have a
full
quick
on.
question for you, Matt. How many people do you think there's like legitimately are 40 boys compared to just like Buddy trolling John?
Ooh.
When we first started, there was about like 20, I want to say 25, 30.
Battery
Now
low.
there's
Please
probably
charge.
about like 8. And at that, 3 of them are just like trying not to catch any kind of heat from John.
Okay.
I see.
So is it kind of like people are more so scared of him and trying to just keep him around because they're scared that he'll like, I don't know, expose them on Twitter or something?
I guess you could say that John reacts very, very negatively whenever he, like, I don't know if people have seen kind of what he's been doing to me, but he reacts very, very negatively when you speak out about him or just so much as disagree with him.
Okay.
And they don't want that kind of heat, and so they're trying to say, oh yeah, I'll still be friends with John and I'll still like work with him and stuff. But they don't want to be there.
I just want to
I'll
say
tell you that
he's an
much.
extremely transactional person, and so those people are as well. That's the only reason they can tolerate him. So I think that they're almost, in a sense, orbiters for that reason alone.
Okay. It's not unheard of, to be completely honest. So.
Hey Augie, how did you get into ADL and like meeting John?
So I met John, or I got into ADL rather, through a friend of mine who was involved in the production of the show from beforehand. And then after the coin incident, I heard that there was like last minute positions needing to be filled. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. That sounds like a gas. And then I just came. That's how.
Cool. I think, like, in all seriousness, from watching it, you definitely brought the heat. You brought the heat, and it was awesome. Like,
yeah,
100%. Like, from an entertainment point of view, you definitely brought the heat, and it was awesome. Same with Sid. Sid brought the heat, and it was awesome. Out of all the people, like, people always ask me, like, who in the Fish Tank universe would you fight? And I'm like, oh, look, I probably wouldn't fight anyone, but Sid, I would be petrified. She is crazy scary.
That girl had 40 pounds on me. She was just like, I don't know what switch flipped.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, again, in my mind, like, I think she truly took it to heart. And I mean, either way, it was entertaining. I love that clip just because it's a great clip. But I think something like flipped, and so in my mind, I'm like, we're doing a show. Like, I expected her to pour eggs on me when she came from behind me, not alligator roll me, you know what I mean? So like, I completely agree with you. Augie brought so much heat. He truly, like, I tell people that all the time, that like, if anyone's gonna go and follow someone, it's going to be, you know, the people that are here right now, especially Augustine. He just was super like he committed 100%. And also I was there with John picking people last minute. Because again, I was production, but I was a plant. I remember looking at his video for like his like contestant, you know, intro, if you will, and being like, oh my God, like 1000% yes, like we need this kid, like this is going to be great, like great sense of like absolutely.
Yeah, and that was made in like 3 hours. The editing was super fast. It was just, most of the time was spent actually recording the scenes because we were like ad hocing the script. We just like did takes until we got each one right.
That's crazy. Okay. So we've touched on ADL. Let's get into like the first week, because there's so much speculation about the first 2 weeks and like how you guys were treated, if they were food, like how often was John actually there. Like there's so much speculation on that because it feels like everybody has just focused on that first 2 weeks. It's like, oh yeah, but they had food and they had this and they had that, but like the time after was a different story.
I can say, I'm sorry, Augustine, I don't mean to cut you off unless you wanted to go.
I was gonna yeah, that's all I was saying.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Because I was one of, again, can't say it enough, I was a production plant. I mean, quite a few of us were, but like in particular, it was like I knew all of the production pretty much prior to getting there, and some of them had kind of like a late, like maybe that week beforehand got involved sort of thing. So I knew one of the gentlemen who were on production that was actually helping cover the cost of groceries, and it was, I think, maybe actually I found the list of groceries I made for Mac because he was like, can you make me a list of groceries so you know what like people need? And I had done that a couple times. I think it was the first time though that I did it, which is the picture that Mac included in the documentary, is the grocery list I made. And I actually went with him to the supermarket. It was the first time in like at least 5 days to a week I had actually left the house. And it was not planned whatsoever. He just was like, I need help. Like, help me grab anything you can think of. And we went, and that was when I found out that John was not like using the sponsorship money basically to pay for food. And that was in my mind where I was like, we're gonna have a problem here. Like, why are we not? I even asked the gentleman, I'm not gonna like mention him because he's not really a public person, but he was part of the production and whatnot, and he, you know, believed in John more so the other people who got him involved. And he basically was saying like, I have no idea what the budget is supposed to be. I have a rough idea from a month ago. I don't know what it looks like now, so I don't know what I'm really paying for. Besides this food that I'm with you right now buying. So like that first week already, toward the end of it, was starting to be like, okay, like we need to go to Costco. We cannot, yeah, exactly what's going on here. Like, why are we not getting food in bulk? And like,
I hate to cut you off. Was it the first week, into the first week, they were starting to run out of food?
It was like, they would buy food, but it was like clear that there was no concise plan of like buying enough. Buying, like doing the maths out to be like, okay, this is how many people are here. This is how much food we need to buy. I was one of the people who, the first meal in the house, you can go and look, whether it be the documentary or actually Fish Tank Archive on YouTube. The first day I cook a meal of steak and rice, and it's like flank steak or like thinly cut steak or something. And I remember while cooking that meal, I was like, we have plenty of rice. I don't know how this protein's gonna last us like 3 days. In my head, like I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't even eat any of the steak that night because I cooked it for everybody, and there wasn't enough for 20 people to basically all have steak. I was like, well, you know what? It's fine. That's just kind of how I am. It's fine. Everybody else eat first. So I already was like, something here is not right. Example as well, not to continue like droning on, but like Mr. Palaskis, who keeps, you know, there's a clip of him saying like, oh, I don't know what y'all are talking about, or maybe it was a tweet, I don't know what y'all are talking about. I ate great the first week I was, or the 5 days I was there. I was like, yeah, because you were there for the first 5 days. After that, it already started to go downhill because we were not, like, they weren't buying enough to begin with.
There was no plan in place.
No, it was right.
Did you? I had a quick question. Did you guys ever get like all the rice and beans that like John was suggesting that like that's all you needed?
No.
We had rice till the point we left, but Like, I'm sorry, like, as a bit, maybe it's funny, but like after like 2 weeks of eating just rice, you're gonna start to not feel right.
100%. And like it's to the point where it's like it's not hard to look up like what they eat at like summer camp, or like just easy bulk foods that you can make, like fried rice, make some soup. Like these are things that you should think about before you go into starting something like this, because you are dealing with people's real lives. This is serious shit. This isn't like hee fish tank. Like they have so many things behind the scenes going on at fish tank, constantly finding food, constantly making sure that everybody's okay and hydrated and everything. Like these are like what's that, like NATO sort of things. Like, this is like basic human rights.
Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
Geneva Convention. Seriously though.
It's insanity that like it just wasn't fought forward. Like it makes no sense to me, especially like at all.
Yeah.
So
I know I'm basically just
meal plan, something like that.
Like, holy shit.
Okay.
A little bit of background noise right there.
Yeah.
You're all right?
Is
that dude okay?
The gentleman at my Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, at home, I normally do eat just rice, beans, and then whatever else that we buy for the week.
Yeah.
And it's not even that expensive to do this. You can buy like a 50-pound bag of rice, and that will last like, honestly, 2 people a whole month of like 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Beans are about the same.
It says a lot that they couldn't even do that then.
Yeah, really. Like, there's this stuff called seitan too. It's basically just wheat gluten mixed with water, and you can season it with other things.
Yeah.
And I brought this up to Van one time, and he was like, "That sounds too much like Satan. We're not buying it."
Didn't Van like not be able to read the Bible when he was asked to read it, and like didn't know how?
I was the one who found him the Bible verse that the TTS asked us to look up because he could not figure it out. Yeah, we were in the cell challenge.
Can we read some of the YouTube chat?
I even flipped to a specific page.
We've actually got quite a few comments. We've got Goosemas in with the tank talk and the tank tour. We've got Eddie coming in with the Queen. We've got Tank Talk is about to pop off today. Foxx, your voice on stream needs to turn up. He says, "Hey, D's Moon." Sean D. Sarcasm says, how could you not hope for John's downfall? We've got Spadussy saying, John is going to bring his own downfall. No need to hope for it. Goosemith said, low battery, please charge. Get Mac in his sweater on cam, stat. We've got Mara looks different. Mara is a shapeshifter, just like Ben. Lol, make some soup. Augie gives off a Mexican border jumper diet like a man. You do. You do, Augie. That's crazy.
Yeah. Being in poverty, it makes you amazing. I ate like 4 people's meals today at a like a beachside restaurant, and then the color returned to my face. I've been like running on fumes because I'm working over here actually.
Oh, nice.
But it's like holiday.
Working holiday. Love that.
It's like you were Dark Souls Hollow, and then you ate some humanity.
Yes. They're like, the color just returned to Augustine's face. He's like, yeah, he's got a glow to him now.
Aw, that's nice. Okay. All right. So we got the first week. We got the food, right? And that was like a. Yes.
I have a question for Rochelle.
Yes.
Are you there?
I think she might be gone for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, she's here.
Oh, she's here.
What's your question?
So my question is actually Deer Skull's question. What was your question?
My question was going to be basically, how did you get onto ADO, and how did you meet John, pretty much?
We've already talked about that.
We talked about the beginning, but basically I met John through Blue. I was in a relationship with Blue, and John was good friends with Blue. And last minute, they didn't have any contestants, and they were like, hey, Blue was just like, hey, you're going to come on the show. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. And yeah.
Did you have...
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say my entire mind, because I remember, again, I was involved for like 2 months prior to this, maybe a little bit longer, and just like her randomly being thrown at the last minute, and then like every time I would see him act up on set, like on the show, and have her there, and like the things he would say, how he would act, I would be like, I cannot imagine what's going through this poor girl's mind right now. Like the way that, like, I just like I feel so uncomfortable for her. Like this is just so, like, how do you as a partner, not from her point, but like Blue's point, like feel okay putting her in a situation like this? This is really strange, you know. I just was like, oh, my opinion of this man cannot get worse.
And
but it
that's
could.
It
It did.
felt like a whole setup, dude. I felt just completely lied to. I was like, what is this? Like, this is not what I thought this was gonna be at all. It's like a bunch of crazies in a house. I'm like, okay, that's what I was expecting that, but what I wasn't expecting was like the mistreatment, the yelling, the throwing dishes, like just literally like the amount of like danger we were in at all times was like actually so stupid.
So,
and like they couldn't even think. I'm sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, like, in like, I guess, because the way that I look at ADL is, I guess, from my, like, my situation that I had on Bitch Tank, and, like, comparing the two situations on how I was treated and how you guys were treated, and, like, when you're on Fish Tank, right, there is always, like, a level of danger that you're expected, like, you're expecting a level of danger, but you know you're never going to get seriously hurt. And I think that is something that, like, Fish Tank has really kind of, you know, unless it's an accident, they've really perfected that. It's like, you're going to be in danger, but you're never going to get hurt. Where going into ADL, you guys would have expected that, but then it had slowly broken, like, the wall slowly came down, and that would have been fucking horrifying. Like, that would have been horrifying to me, 100%. And, like, the fact that you guys went through that is horrifying, 100%.
I'll speak on this as a member of production.
Yeah.
Just to touch upon the kind of starving in the after the first week. I had gone and designed this whole thing to be with eliminations, you know, because it doesn't make any sense to keep 20 people in a house, because, you know, that's going to be a expensive food bill for the entire month. But John changed that at the last second, saying that we lose viewers if, you know, we kick people that they like. And it's like, in retrospect, we had maybe 12 to 25 real people watching at points on that show. But to what you just said, I'm sorry. And also, John, Van, and Blue, they were eating out at restaurants basically every single day, while the rest of us were, you know, dealing with what was at the house. They didn't care.
Not right. That's not right.
It's fucked up.
You get me. I didn't get to. I guess they offered me to use their car, but it's just like, why am I going to go eat while everybody else is starving? And I didn't agree with it. The other thing, to what you just said regarding the safety on the set, I don't know how it is on Fish Tank, but production behind the scenes on ADL acted the exact same way that they were on camera. So if you as a viewer saw that John was being aggressive or whatever on camera, that's what he was like off camera. So all of that was not a bit that we were doing for the for the audience. That was, I mean, if you want to think about it, me and Colton, the janitor looking dude, we were the only two guys playing characters. Everybody else was just being themselves.
I've very much compared, like, this situation of ADL. It's like when the teacher chooses your, like, group at high school and you have to work on a project together, and then you're really dedicated to the project. You write down everything. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, this project is gonna be amazing. But then there's that one stoner asshole, or coked out asshole, who comes through and just railroads all of it and ruins the entire project for everybody, but you've done all the hard work, and that's heartbreaking. Like, I that really hurts my feelings, because, you know, like, I worked on a Dungeons and Dragons campaign for like 6 months. I put a lot of effort into it and stuff, and then I've had people like railroad that, and that, like, it's such a demoralizing feeling. Like, it takes a long time to, like, process that kind of disappointment. I know. Like,
I was I was a sad boy when John on like day 3 goes and tells me, "Hey, I'm not going to do the story anymore." And it's like, so you had me go and write a story for 6 months, and he was like encouraging me to go and write it and to go to it. This is my theory, that he had me just write the story
yeah.
to go and give to the sponsors, to go and like seem as if we're a real deal kind of thing. But after 6 months of putting my heart and soul into this thing, he goes and just says, "No, I'm not going to do that." Blue starts to ruin the kind of scenes that I was trying to go and plan,
Yeah.
and Van just doesn't even move the camera. He's just like, "What?" So I don't know. I was a sad boy when all that all that came to be nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to
So I
really
understand.
quickly to say, like, fuck Van for like allowing multiple people to get docs, and just apparently he was laughing. That's what you said in his in the.
I could say so many things about that man. Utter disappointment again, because I knew him from a completely different, community, if you will. Knowing him from like an area where he's taken seriously, like he's revered-ish kind of, because a lot of the people in that scene also don't like him because they know kind of the things he's done in the past, or like how other people view him from the main, niche of what he makes products for. But still, a lot of people wear his merch, they support him unequivocally. Seeing him be his true genuine self was an utter letdown. I did not anticipate, that was not in the bingo card for me whatsoever. And like even prior to that, and I had said this I think in the doc too, it's a snippet that's been repeated many times, was that, him and John, but especially Van, I have it like messages with Van of him being like, if anybody makes you uncomfortable on set, you let me know. Like the moment they do, they're gone. And that just was not, he was too wrapped up in having fun. And when I say fun, I mean like doing substances and having a jolly good time and trying to like, get with the women he brought on set, sort of thing. Like thinking he was like some type of baller. It was really sickening to see him just go lower and lower and lower, and I just I couldn't believe it at first.
Yeah.
I truly couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way that this is the guy that I've known for the last several months, like acting like this. It was
Hey,
appalling.
I'll add on to this. The other night during the space, the topic of Augie getting alcohol poisoning came up, and he goes and says, Augie wanted alcohol poisoning. Like, he asked us to go and give him alcohol poisoning, and we just, let him do his own thing. That's insane to me.
That is
That was so insane,
on
because you can
camera?
just watch like your documentary about this, and you can just see him like so fucked up, and like it just begging them to stop giving him booze.
Yeah,
It
that was on camera.
That was on
generally
camera.
like, yeah.
Oh, I literally, when I went to the bathroom that night before Augustine for like the third night in a row was ill, I literally looked up like nearest hospitals, because I was like, if this kid chokes on his vomit and I can't do the Heimlich for some reason, or he has alcohol poisoning and he needs an actual hospital, like what are we gonna do? Like thankfully it was only 10 minutes away, but like sometimes that 10 minutes if someone's choking can make a difference,
Actually,
I was truly concerned.
Sean D. Sarcasm actually has brought up a good point. Ogie, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Did you ask,
I was just gonna say.
Did you ask John to give you alcohol poisoning?
No, I didn't ask him to give me alcohol poisoning, but I wanted content.
So you were like, yeah, I want to get fucked up, but you didn't say I want to be borderline, dying on the floor, crying and begging not to have any more.
Yeah, like when you say it's enough, it's enough.
Yeah.
They didn't give.
Yeah, I have a metabolic problem with alcohol.
Yeah.
Where my body like converts it too quickly, and so I'll get really fucked up really fast, and it just results in a blackout drunkenness.
Yeah.
But I basically just wanted content,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, well I'm gonna do this. I got alcohol. It's better than being bored and not doing anything. And then John realized on production, like, oh, we can just do. This is gonna be the bit for the next couple of days. And one night I got so good at beer pong after I got mega fucked up, and then like I was like one after the other, no matter where it was, and then I started getting like I started puking, like I couldn't stand up. It was awesome. And until I was puking into like I think it was like a Dutch oven's bottom or something like a metal one. I don't know what that was, like some sort of baking pan.
Wait.
But
Oh my
until
god,
then, it was a good time.
you just
We made
unarchived
the
that.
chicken in gold.
Yes,
Oh my
the one we made the
God.
chicken
That's when we
in.
made our big
I made
chicken.
2 roast chickens in that pan, and yeah, and then he someone gave it to him just because he was yakking and he just couldn't stop, and someone just threw it in front of him and he yacked into it, and I was like, I have to clean this now because nobody else is going to unless it's Aeroshell. Nobody's gonna clean it.
Yeah.
So then I had to clean Augie's throw up out of a massive oven pan. Yeah, I completely forgot about that till right now.
We also used that pan as a drum in the cell. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was trying to torture them.
Also,
True.
taking into consideration the food situation, giving somebody alcohol poisoning when they haven't been eating properly and or sufficiently fucking hydrated is insanity, by the way. So that's another thing that is naughty, John. But he's probably not watching because he doesn't actually take the time out to watch things that people say or feel about him.
He doesn't do homework.
He'll get a synopsis from one of his henchmen.
Hey, Henry.
Yeah, Ben Pulaski is definitely watching
Ben
right now.
Pulaski is watching
taking
or
his notes, writing down. He's typing in the 40 Boys chat right now. He's totally just totally spying on us right now.
Yeah.
Reporting in.
So who sent the assassins after John? We got that question from Kelly Knox. Was it you guys?
I wish.
Guzmas sends his regards.
Guzmas and Slugwax? Holy shit.
It was a Jesse Smollett moment, I think, more than anything. But yeah, I wish.
Do you think he was just running and he tripped over?
I was thinking that too, but he could have been fucked up by people. Somebody brought up another topic that we're probably going to be talking about tonight. Cocaine dealers, potentially, allegedly, could be.
Oh.
Because I don't think he's the type of guy that would pay up his front for a kilo.
Actually, I have a question about the cocaine. This is for you, Mac. I don't remember. I think you only really referred to her as the 19-year-old in the documentary, so I don't know really her name. But do you think she got coke? Because you kind of hinted at that, but you never I don't think said something concrete about it.
So Mary Jane was her name. I included it from what Kevin said in his little testimony there. Kevin said that Mary confided in him that she received coke from the guy that was on set, which the only other guy that was on set that I knew was doing coke was Austin, which was John's friend. So I tend to believe it, especially because Mara can go and explain this. Austin was trying to hook up with some of the girls on set.
Yeah, he got my phone number, not realizing I would never. Sorry, dysgenic freak. No, absolutely not. We talked about my hoodie that I wore that Shotty got shart spray on, her Shotty shart spray, the fart spray that was lethal. It was a revenge hoodie from before X died that I wore. I brought it with me, and she got it on that, and he noticed it though before it got sharted on. And so we talked about that briefly. He was supposed to give me a tattoo. He never did. I was supposed to get a tattoo for one of the sponsors, their logo, and he just never did it. And he 100%. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. I'm not gonna speak for Mac. I'm gonna speak for myself and my lived experience. When you're around people who are on cocaine, you can kind of tell. Absolutely, without a doubt, she was on Xanax. She had coke. She showed me her drinking alcohol, without a doubt. Even after the whole debacle, which I'm sure y'all may or may not get to. Without a doubt, she was definitely doing all that. We made jokes about it. Not I didn't make jokes about it, but they made jokes about it, and I was present for them, and I was just there's no refuting it at that point. You just can tell sometimes if you've been around people who are on that. You can tell she definitely was. I think I called it out in the cell too. I straight up said it because at that point, it was at that point where I was I'm not being fed. This is bullshit. You just let my phone number get doxxed. I'm just gonna start saying things.
Yeah.
And I did.
There's definitely
I will say
level that you can get to before you're just nah, fuck this. fuck everything. Like, you can all fucking die. Like, I get that 100%.
I will say that I don't really have a problem that they were doing cocaine, that they were doing weed, that they were doing anything upstairs. I don't have a problem with that. What I did have a problem, though, is that they were using the sponsor money that was supposed to go towards these guys' food for their drug habit.
Personally,
And
I have a
that
problem
showed
with
up in the hot mic.
because it's supposed to be a Christian show.
Yeah, that's
Christian show, which is
I
so
wanted
funny.
to touch on that. Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. So obviously, we know that John does label himself as a Christian. I'm a Christian myself. If you follow me on Twitter, you'd know that. And I know Love America, is that his name, or
Van.
his actual name? Van. Yeah, that's Van. Van also labels himself as a Christian, and they did advertise ADL as a Christian film. I do remember the post and everything like that. And to see these guys just blatantly disregard their faith completely, like, nobody's perfect, especially not Christians, they're not perfect. But to see people that willfully become so prideful, deny all accountability, do whatever they want, is definitely not Christian at all. And I hope somebody from John's circle is listening right now, because I rebuke you, man. That's not right what you're doing. Any of that. And it shows. It shows.
My faith was tested constantly in that house. And Mac can confirm. And again, not to like skip into maybe topics that you're going to bring up, but like the incident on the mountain, we had gotten back to the house, and Mac and I were like, we should probably make them food. And at first, I literally was like, fuck them. They just called us pussies. Like, no, fuck them. And then I was like, nah, that's not the Christian thing to do. Let me all make them soup. And I did. I made them all soup. I made them all soup to come back. Unbeknownst to me, they were out getting fast food. But still, yeah, of course. Right. Unbeknownst to me, But at the time, I was like, nope, I would be a hypocrite. I'd be just as bad as them if I did not try to do something. Again, too, like, I was just like,
thy enemies
yeah, exactly. Like, oh man, my faith was tested. Arishel can attest as well. When we went to confession one day, that was one of the only times I had left the house. I think I had only left the house one other time prior to that, and that was to go to the supermarket. It might have been after we went to Bend. I can't remember. It's kind of all a blur, a very crazy blur. But maybe it was the third time then, if that is the case. Nonetheless, went to confession, and I just was like, I need that. I need to be in the presence of the Eucharist. I need to like talk to a priest right now, because I have said and done some heinous things, and I don't know if these people are, doesn't matter. Like, this is not my character whatsoever. Like, this is despicable, some things that are happening. And at the time too, I even gaslit myself a little bit and was like, some of it's for entertainment, some of it's not. Like, my faith was tested. My faith was tested in that house.
Right.
Severely. Yeah. I'm glad I'm glad I was. The night before I left, I prayed the rosary on the floor, trying in a cold room. Literally, I prayed the rosary because I was like, I need peace right now, because this is not it.
Definitely no peace in that house. How many times did you see John at the confession booth?
Could you repeat that?
Actually, really quick, before there's someone in chat wondering, Mac, why do you think Hades is siding so much with John? Is it like a career move? And that question came from Callie Nux.
Yeah, Callie Nux. He's awesome. What I will say is that Hades was my friend for 5+ years. I thought I knew him, but the one thing I do know about him is he's not a clout chaser. Okay. It's entirely personal. He views John as if he was an autistic little brother, and he wants the best for John. Okay. And he also wants to be able to control what John does. He wants to be like the second in command, who is the manager, who goes and tells John what to do, and be a good influence on him so he stays away from all the other stuff.
So it's hard.
So if that kind of gives you, basically. Okay. So if that kind of gives you a better idea, he just wants to be there for John because he thinks that people abuse John, and he just fails to go and look at what actually happened.
I just want to say, like, forgive my ignorance, but like, do you guys feel like you were honeypotted with like a Christian valued show, but then not
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So it was
Without a doubt.
it was a honey money pot, basically. Just like, hey, we can get money if we say that we're doing this way, and we're not gonna like follow it at all, and we're just gonna basically do it the way that we want to do it. But fuck, you know.
Yep. As much as I hate Blue,
Yeah.
as much as I hate Blue, he literally said that this was John's way to make money. That he brought in a bunch of sponsors with a bunch of false promises. John was promising sponsors before the show that they were going to get Logic the rapper on. Like he was going to get James O'Keefe. He was going to get Logic. He was going to get Kyle Undercover, a whole bunch of YouTubers. Turkey Tom was another one.
Jake Shields was
Wow,
also mentioned, which is really funny.
So you dragging Jake Shields and Turkey Tom into that? Wow.
Right. I was like, what is
I know.
happening?
I forget which two it was, but I know that he was talking with James O'Keefe and some of the other people. I think it was Tobuscus and maybe iDubbbz they were talking with. Like I saw those on the production, like IM chats. So
yep.
I do
that
just want to
wasn't a
say
lie,
too, the James O'Keefe
Yeah.
connection is solely because of the man who got robbed in the first couple days. Because he had worked on a documentary with him.
Is it Ryan?
That is the only correct, Ryan. That is the only reason that there was that connection altogether. And I just again know because I was kind of involved a little, not as long as Mac, but longer than the other contestants who were quote unquote plants. That is why.
Mara, you helped, or not you helped, but I didn't include this in the documentary, but you remember when Blue tried to get you to get Zerka on by flirting with him?
Yes, actually, and that is on my Twitter page. The screenshot. Thank you for making sure, as I had that somewhere in my phone, my old phone before I switched phones. Yeah, he tried to get us to get Zerka on the show as well. Like I was on the plane and he made a group chat with myself, Arachel, and said, again, this is where I was like, they're a couple. Why would you ever ask your girlfriend to do this? He asked us. Yeah, it was wild. And so he asked us to DM him and try to get him involved in the show. And I, of course, then ended up posting it because he pinged, he added Zerka and was like, oh, yeah, I made so much money. God, thank you, God. Thank you, Zerka. And I was like, I'm sorry. Didn't you try to exploit this man with some e-girls? What's wrong with you? What are you talking about, dude?
So it's like honeypotting all the time.
What was the question JC was gonna ask to Mara before I kind of interrupted?
Oh, the question was, how many times did you see John in the confession booth with you?
Not actually a whole lot. I mean, my recollections could be right. Well, again, so the thing is like, we had a Valentine's Day challenge of, the format of like pop the balloon sort of thing. We had done that, and when he was included in that, almost everybody popped their balloons for me, except for two. I'm not going to air them. You can go back, find the VODs. Again, they're on Fish Tank Archive on YouTube. Judge it for yourself. Thing is, in that segment, he himself was like, nah, I see her as a bro. And I think I had solidified in everybody's brains there when it came to like men that like you will never, ever even have the opportunity. Never. Like you can try and want all you'd like. I will deck you. Like, no, not like that.
Right.
Thank you. None of you are appealing to me. I would never. This is a show. I'm here on business. And I'm like that in the Web3 space as well, is like I don't let people engage with me in a certain way, and if they do, they're cut at the knees. And there's a reason for that, just like with the rest of them, in this circumstance. Like that's not my prerogative, So they had all kind of put it together in their heads that they could never, ever. That's why Blue called me a whore.
This is a question from chat. Darius Emmanuel Grouch III talks about asking, Mac mentioned something about every contestant getting blacklisted from Fish Tank. Is this true?
So, it's not official. What the best way to describe this is everybody that was associated with ADL immediately following the show had this stain of, so John is blacklisted because he went against Fish Tank Production. That means anybody associated with John, I shouldn't work with them. And so I heard a rumor that amongst a lot of the Stream Stars people, that's why they didn't want to like associate with Mara or Augustine or some of these other people. I'm not going to name names, but that was the rumor that I heard. As far as blacklist, it was never like an official thing. It was always just people didn't want to work with these guys because they thought, hey, they're associated with John. I don't want that.
And that's really unfair, and I think that like in the grand scheme of things, as much as you want to like show people like this is what happened, it's more so like, hey guys, like we were actually survivors here, like we were actually trying to make this work, and you know, you can beat a dead horse so many times it's not gonna fucking wake up, you know. So like I respect you a lot, like even though it was 10 hours of footage, which is a long time, and believe me, I watched all 10 hours of it. It's just like really sad that it went that way, you know? Like if you watch the 10 hours and you still think after that 10 hours that you guys weren't like done wrong by, I don't know what's wrong with you, because there's definitely a lot of things in that documentary that are just instant red flags. And I know Frank Castle, he watched it and he was just like, holy fuck, this is messed up. So you do know that there are people in production and the fish tank
Frank
community.
Castle, of all people, is like, oh no, this is evil. Is saying it's evil. Like, I feel like that has enough weight. like,
Yeah.
come on, dude. Like, it's crazy to me that that sentiment actually exists.
Exactly.
I was actually messaging Frank a little bit after the Twitter space happened, and it's just like he was telling me how they're like just completely total retards, and it said it was like just a retarded clown show basically. Oh, and
Dude.
speaking of that space,
Oh my god, that space.
Yeah, they like lied to Chris Lynch in that space. They had this guy named Tim Stabber or whatever.
Tim Stabbers.
I got touched
Oh
by
my
Tim
God.
Stabbers. I got touched by Tim Stabbers.
Tim Stabbers raped Skippy.
Dude, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna touch on the space for like 1 second, and I just want to know if you guys thought this was as funny as I did. But John talking about being mature and being like the most mature person ever, and then turning around literally in the next breath calling Mac Mr. Poopy Pants and telling him to be his daddy and like bow down to his daddy because John's his daddy and shit. Like, there are moments when I'm just like, how are you a real fucking person taking yourself seriously? Like, you if you listen, like, if I clip this and send it to you in 5 years' time, how are you gonna feel telling some man on the internet to call you his daddy and that you are Mr. Poopy Pants? Like, how are you going to feel, John?
He cannot stop talking about Mac's butthole. It's so strange. It's so homoerotic. It's so weird.
So I don't. That sounds in character. In 5 years' time, he's probably gonna be like, "Yeah, well," and I'm gonna do this.
Guess I said it.
It'll still be as funny too. Like,
I was calling Mac Mr. Poopy Butt.
Oh my
god! I'll ask you guys. You guys all got snored on your bingo cards, right?
Oh yeah. My nose is broken. I'm just like, bro, that's not a nose broken snort. Like, you must have the flu if that's the case, because you were sniffling up a storm, buddy. Like, you got COVID or something? I don't. Oh.
Yeah. That whole space. Go ahead.
I just remember seeing people talk about how they got a bingo. It's the funniest shit.
I was like, I'm gonna be this shit. I was like, take a shot for every thing he says on the card.
I'll say on the space real quick. I essentially went in there with the idea that I was going to embarrass myself because I'm not. That's not my element. I don't do that kind of thing. And I was able to bait them into saying so many things. And like Van going and saying that he gave a minor alcohol, like I wasn't expecting that. John to go and just say about the $10,000 that he owes Carl for winning the show. He's like, I don't have that. I can start a GoFundMe. Like those
pathetic.
Are.
That was so pathetic.
I can't even say it's comedy. You don't expect a grown man to go and say those kind of things, because it's like that's something you should never admit. At least with John, when I went and said, "What is the snow?" and he refused to answer that, at least he's using his brain there. Because if he goes and admits that the snow is cocaine, then you have on audio that John does cocaine. You know what I mean? Or John was drug trafficking. So he would never say that. Go ahead.
The fact that he like did not answer the question was, I think, enough to prove that he meant cocaine, though. So
Not
I guess
only
he
that-
used his brain a little bit, but not enough.
He slipped up a few times too, because when you guys were talking about the cocaine, you know, you guys referred to it as snow because that's like John's code word for cocaine during the show, right? And there's audio recording of him actually saying that. And, you know, he sidetracks. He was like, "Oh, I was talking about the snow outside because it was snowing." And then you were like, "No, you were saying I'm gonna do snow in the snow." And then he completely just derailed that part. And he said, "Oh, well, I bought some for a friend." Okay, so first it's snowing outside, and then he's buying Coke for a friend. Liar.
Oh yeah. I completely forgot he said that.
Fraudulent
That was so
slip.
ridiculous.
And the best one was like, what do you mean I spent 40K on Coke? That's like a kilo of Coke. That's so much Coke. We couldn't do that in 2 weeks. It's like, how do you know that's how much Coke you can buy? Like, if you don't do Coke, how do you know that's how much Coke you can buy with 40K?
John had told me a story when we picked up. So first off, drunk driving all the time. Secondly, before the show started and we were in Eugene, we went to pick up Ryan, Cloud Runner, from the airport. And of course he was under the influence, and he was telling us a story about how he trafficked drugs to Mexico and like back. And I was like, okay, like you're like what are you gaining from, like, actually what is going on right now? Like, what is happening?
Show,
like,
everybody. It's a Christian show.
Well, because of course in my mind too, this is before the show even started, I was like, well, I've done bad things in my life. I've done unsavory things. I have done heinous stuff. Like, I can't judge. If you've given your life to Christ, then, you know, I can't hold that against you. And you're telling a story, like, just like how I have in the past. But like, what? I just was so confused.
He actually said I would kill myself if I did that much Coke, as if he was the only one doing it. So true! Didn't he also say it's not like I dragged him into another room and fed him alcohol, which is literally what he did?
Literally what he did. Took him upstairs to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh my
The same
god.
bathroom I cleaned John's throw up from, by the way. That picture does exist. It's floating around. I could probably post it again. It's really funny. Of Mary Jane and I. I had COVID at the time, because that's a whole other thing, is that he brought someone into the house knowingly with COVID and didn't care. And like, all my family is immunocompromised, so I was not trying to bring that home with me. So I'm glad that I caught it earlier in the show.
Yeah.
But I had COVID really bad. I lost my voice. I thought it was just from me yelling. I had COVID. I didn't realize that was why, because it's never hit me that hard before. But also, you know, being malnourished and like whatnot and under stress, basically, of course, it manifested in different ways. And I could not smell anything for like another almost whole week after that. Like food, couldn't taste it. Smell, couldn't smell anything. Thankfully, I could not smell when I was cleaning his literal throw up from inside of a bathtub that he nearly let flood the other night. Aeroshell was actually in the room for that.
Yes,
well, that's a bonus.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. It was a whole crazy thing. He just kept letting the bathroom run and was like, "I'm gonna kill you guys if you don't make content right now in front of this camera," basically. And then he left the room with the bathtub
in the
still running.
bathroom, turned on the water, then just walked out the room. Didn't say, "Hey, like I'm running about," nothing. Just turned it on, walked out.
And I kept being like, that bathtub's gonna flood. Like, thankfully, my name's not on the house, because
by the time we got there, it was like this close to overflowing and flooding the entire bathroom. I don't, and like whenever we reached in the drain, like to unplug it, like water was coming out already out of the bathtub. That's how close it was to overflowing. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
You know, the destruction of the house kind of brings up a question I have for Mac, actually. Why did you guys pick like an Airbnb instead of like an actual property? And how did you guys like expect to pay off any damages done?
I wasn't part of this. Essentially, this is my perspective. Okay, we are 2 weeks away from the thing. Okay, a little bit back in November, I'm like, hey, John, do you have a house for the thing? He's like, yeah, it's all picked out. December comes. Hey, John, do you have a house for the thing? Yeah, it's all picked out. You can't wait to see it. 1st of January comes. Hey, John, you got a house ready? Are you sure? Is everything fine? Yeah, I got all the contestants. I got the house ready. January 8th comes, and this was kind of like when we found out that we weren't going to get the fish tank website deal.
Yeah.
He goes and says, hey, dude, Jet just reached out to me. He says that we're going to go in the season 2 house. I was like, oh, no shit. Okay,
Cool.
well, all right, that's cool. Over in Boston, how much is a plane ticket going to cost? And I'm like thinking about it. And then literally an hour later, he goes and says, website deal's off. And I'm like, what? And then I go and I find out like a week later while he's going off to DC to go meet with Banks and stuff. Yeah, no, they still didn't have a house. And they didn't have a house picked out until 3 days before the show.
Yeah, so I was part of those conversations. And yeah, the house, so they had circulated a couple different ideas. That they had found some properties that they could just outright buy with the sponsorship money, but it wouldn't be until after that 7. So just some context. One of the main sponsor, Rosario Casino, was going to give them $7K up front once the show started, and then the rest of 35 grand after the 7 days if it is performing the way it needed to.
Yeah.
And they were going to try and get a house that was like foreclosed on or something that they could just put minimal furniture in that had like connection to heat and water basically. And then of course 7 grand is just not enough even on a foreclosed house that has plumbing, heat, all of that you need. And that's when they ended up going with a Verbo, like an Airbnb situation. And then on top of that, the person who fronted the money was Van, and he did not, I think, anticipate the house getting destroyed that way because like for the first week and a half, 2 weeks-ish even, a lot of damages didn't occur. And then there's even that clip from, I think it's part 2 of a Max documentary of, John just going hog wild after a cake fight that we had, and spraying water everywhere. The amount of water damage, they broke the dishwasher in that house. I tried to fix it. Midori tried to fix it. We literally could not do it. Like there was just no way without getting a plumber or like an electrician to come and fix it. So that was broken. Couldn't even wash dishes and stuff anymore. Everything had to be washed by hand. And he literally, the amount of water damage that had happened to that floor was astronomical. Like there was like warping in the floor while we were there because it was a hardwood in that kitchen. He literally took the faucet from the sink that was in the island and just put it everywhere after he put Dawn dish soap all over the floor, like a massive Dawn dish soap thing, put it everywhere, and then took the water faucet because it was like a retractable one everywhere. I don't think that anybody who put money into the actual house anticipated that happening because again, it was supposed to be like a Christian fish tank, so they didn't anticipate that happening whatsoever.
I do want to say that like in the documentary, Mac does like talk about how Van essentially screwed over this guy by having the entire house be signed under this guy's name instead of his own. And I feel like that kind of shows like he did expect it a little bit if to just ruin try to get some other guy's credit.
Yeah, in the event that it did happen.
Can we touch on that quite a bit? Because that like of all the things that happened on that show, that's like the shit cherry on top of a pie is to just like give some poor kid who is, just trying to help you out, just ruin their fucking credit for the rest of their lives by pinning it on them. Like, were the damages actually fixed, like he said? And is that like, has anybody spoken to that kid and like checked on what's going on with that? Because that's something that's really concerning.
So I've spoken to the kid.
Right?
Sorry?
That's also fraud, right? Like putting someone else's name on something. Right.
Well, technically he's okay. So I'll go ahead and lay it out.
Okay.
All right. So before the show, John, I guess, doesn't have credit. or he has bad credit, and then Van doesn't want to ruin his credit because Van has his fashion company. So they're like, okay, well, we don't want to put our own name on this. We need to go and find somebody that will put their own name. So they go and they scour the NCO and they say, hey, dude, we'll let you come on the show if you go and sign your name on the house. And they found this young 20s kid. I don't want to like give too much information about him.
Keep it.
They found this young 20s kid, and oddly enough, he also picked the name out for the show. But the thing is they found this young 20s kid, and they said, okay, you sign for the house, and we promise you we'll go and pay for it. Well, the card that Van used to go and pay for it was a Cash App card. If you don't know how a Cash App card works, it's basically like a debit card. However, when somebody tries to go and if it has $0 on it and somebody tries to go and charge it, that charge is just going to bounce back to the person trying to charge it.
Okay.
So essentially, they charged the initial amount for $7,000 or so, and then it didn't have any money on it. So when they tried to go and charge it for the $18,000 at the end of the show, those all just bounce back. Realistically speaking, the homeowners are probably going to send it over to insurance, and then the insurance company is going to go after the $18,000 bill because insurance company isn't going to take the L. Van claims that his name is still in the house, but everybody that was on that show knows it was on this 20-year-old's name. So essentially, Van is going to skate off with having his credit card canceled while all the charges are going to go on this kid.
I hate that.
Yeah. So basically,
and it very much so was intentional. I was literally in the meeting, like whenever they were talking about like the different options that they could. I wasn't in the meeting because I wasn't in 40 Boys, but I was next to Blue, who was in the meeting, and I literally heard them like planning out the different ways, like, oh, how can we do this? Can we buy the house? Can we put it under someone else's name and then just write it off? Say, oh, that wasn't us. Like, how can we do that? Like, I heard that whole thing. It was
that was the one I was there for, and that was when you were introduced, basically.
So so it was all just a scam for the Airbnb owners from the Cash App card to the name, basically. That's what we've gotten for a comment. And also, why did Van visibly throw a fit over the damages and fight Pedro? This is what convinced a lot of people it was in his name.
Saying from the get-go, like even in my confession, I think I said it, I was like, I don't understand in my interview, I said I don't understand why Van was tripping the entire time. Talking about, oh, the dishwasher that's broken, oh, the Keurig is broken, oh, there's a hole in the wall. Like, I get it, you're frustrated about the damage in the house, but it's literally it's not gonna come back to you. It doesn't affect you. You're doing it for show. Like, you're doing it to make everybody else uncomfortable.
It's because of the card. Yeah, he was trying to make everybody else feel guilty, but it was because of the card associated. And again, like Van owning a business, that Cash App card, while you can make a Cash App card that doesn't have your legal name, I'm pretty sure if you actually have a card manufactured by them, it does have to have some of your personal identification tied to it. So again, a debt collector from an insurance company will in fact pursue the person that's on the card, especially if there's a fake name listed on the house that hasn't been, vetted by Airbnb or Vrbo. That's probably why, because they did try to hit Van for it on his Cash App card and it declined.
So it is somewhat connected to Van. It's just under another person's name. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit tumultuous, but yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes me feel like somewhat better, but still.
Yeah, I will say though, also you are correct. In this instance, it is technically fraud. That is fraud. Putting one name on something, the paying card is the other. People flag things for fraud for less, whether it be a bank, insurance company, etc. It is fraud.
Speaking of fraud, do you guys ever think that John and everyone else who was kind of involved with making it a shit show will ever get charged or sued?
We have floated the idea. I don't know about anybody else. Mac has kind of I've floated the idea. I mean, multiple people who were, I think it's mainly myself and one or two others have floated the idea. And then of course others have suggested it to us that we should pursue for injury, suffering and pain.
And at this point, Mac has defamation as well. And
Yeah, as well. Well, me
oh,
too. They tried to say
yeah.
I stole. They tried to say a bunch of crazy stuff
Dude, they
about
stole
me.
from you. Like
I know.
that.
Get on your sneeze. You gotta say you're sorry for me robbing you. Like crazy.
Yeah, I can't like the amount of things like especially when coming back to the space, especially when he would just be like, "Oh, hey, I've proved everything and you've proved nothing." Like, bro, you didn't prove anything. The entire space was literally just proving that the documentary was true. And he dug himself a hole so deep that it was just kind of like, "Oh, that's what you're doing." And you don't even realize it. Like, you need to wear your little like sunflower lanyard everywhere. Like, do it, because it's getting to a point where it's just embarrassing. Like, back to when he like drug trafficked to Mexico. Do you think he was wearing the sunflower lanyard?
I think that whole story was a farce to sound hard in front of Cloud Runner. I think the whole entire thing was a cap to sound hard in front of myself and Cloud Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's something.
Yeah, Mac, you know, like you know the actual thing you can sue over, which is what Sean D Sarcasm brought up, which is not the contestants of the show not getting paid or the winner.
Did you guys get like contracts? Like, did you guys have to sign contracts when you
contracts, but they were null and void from the point in which John violated it himself. I mean, like, the thing that people don't understand about contracts, a family who have been notaries before, etc., all types worked in law, it could have been a totally valid contract, even if not made and notarized necessarily by somebody, if he had abided by it himself. That is why in the clips from the mountain, I go up to the camera and I say this contract is null and void. This is reckless endangerment, what's going on right now, because I can say anything I want now. He's violated it himself. In the event that he wanted to act on it, if he had actually followed it and, you know, in good faith, done everything that is stated in it, it could have been. But again, there's like more recourse with like a lawyer that in the instance he wanted to take it to court and actually pursue anybody who was on that show as a contestant who signed it, he would have it would be a long litigation. He would have a long, difficult time proving that he's not in the wrong and that actually we should pursue him versus, you know, just for the way things transpired. In the event everything went perfectly and we still badmouthed him, maybe. But again, he doesn't have the money to even pursue that whatsoever. So, yeah, but Carl should sue him. Either Carl should sue him or somebody should be the knight in shining armor and pay him the 10 grand that he was promised, that he signed a contract for. But, you know, it's kind of, it's a very tumultuous, like, legal thing. It's a lot of money as well to bother pursuing that.
Yeah, speaking of contracts, I just remember from the documentary, like, he purposely set them up so that they weren't valid at all. Like, they put it like sideways.
Stapled at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even like, again, it wouldn't necessarily even matter if it was printed sideways, stapled at the bottom. It depends. It depends. It truly depends. It's a very tumultuous like thing. If the actual things stated in the contract were followed by all of production, then he would have some type of grounds, regardless of how it was printed, signed, stapled, etc. Well, not how it was signed, but the thing that's funny about the whole situation too is that I'm at the airport in Oregon waiting to go home. I slept in the airport because they gave me the worst flight possible because I was leaving and because I bitched them into paying me. They would not give me a copy of the contract. I asked Van for a record for my personal records, like a copy of it, and he refused. He was like, "Why, are you gonna try and sue us or something?" And I was like, "I literally just want a copy for my own record. That's pretty normal. If you have signed something like that in itself is a like law, basically. Like, you're supposed to provide me a copy of it, and you never did." So
I'll speak on myself for a second, just to give you guys some one of my biggest L's, because a lot of people are kind of confused why I stuck with the project after this. Essentially, during the pre-production, I had heard that people were going to go and just steal our work. You know, that the actual NCO was just gonna steal our work, give us the boot, and then pass it off as their own. So I tried to go and say, okay, well, what if I go and I propose a independent contractor 1099 form, which is for taxation and stuff. I know you're from Australia, but that's essentially what I said. How about we just get proper employment as independent contractors for this? And they screamed, yelled at me, all kinds of stuff. And with me, it's not necessarily OCD. It's just when I start something, I can't leave it. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to stick this through. John then goes and pulls me aside along with everybody else, and he says, depending on the success of this show, you're going to get 3,500. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. All I really wanted at this point was just a writing credit to go and put on my resume. But over the course of the show, I was told that I was going to be reimbursed for my flights. I was going to be reimbursed for everything that I bought for the show, which was like groceries, guitar that I bought for the show, just all the props and different things that I bought. Yeah. That ended up being $850. And then, John goes and tells me the last day that I was there that they don't have the money to go and pay me back, and they'll give me back in the future. And I'm just like, okay. And then as you can see how things have evolved, I don't think I'm getting that $850 back.
And that, my friend, is why I did not leave without them paying me.
I just want to say, like, even if there was, like, Sean is in the comments right now bringing up some really good points. It's like, even if you did do the whole, like, legal thing, you would have to go back to Bend, Oregon. You would have to spend so much money. Like, just the legal aspect of it is just so tiring. It's like, fuck, what's the point? It's like, you can fight it, but, like, what's the fucking point at this point, Like, I think justice served is the fact that, like, you can't Google his name without seeing him snort a white powder off a Bible now. I think that's justice, to be completely honest with you. So,
is that true?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because in Blood Games, Jimmy had the what's it called? The caffeine powder.
Yeah.
And he walked up to John and was like, "Oh, do you want some?" And John's like, "Here, let me just grab my Bible and snort it off it." So
what?
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow. Yes. But that is also a reality that John has at the moment. Also, yeah, we're going to talk about the mountain, and also let's touch on Skippy, because Skippy, like, I love Skippy personally. I think Skippy is a great content creator. I think Skippy deserves all the love and respect that Skippy gets, because amazing creator. But
so when he came into the house, I actually remember production. I'm not speaking for Mac. I'm not even speaking for Colton. I think that they were all just kind of like fed this thing of like, Skippy, again, he's very tapped in. He tries to play on the whole, like, everybody says I look feminine thing. So he'll post like AI edit swaps of him as like a woman. And they tried to like John is so stupid and Blue is so stupid, they thought it was actually him dressing as a woman. So they tried to call him all types of like, just crazy stuff and say like, oh, he's a tranny, like this crazy stuff. And once they showed me a picture, I was like, oh, this is like a bit. Like immediately in my head, I was like, this is a bit. Like, this is a bit for him. Like, duh. Like, hello. Have you ever been on the internet? And his mission coming into that house was to derail everything. And he didn't even need to. Once I kind of like got clued into like what was going on, though, I mean, I already kind of was, but then eventually too, it just like culminated for me into being like, Skippy's on the same page as me. We're here to be entertaining and also air John for how this has been going. That for me was when I was like, nope, Skippy's got a good moral compass in regards to what's going on here. Like, he's fully aware of what should transpire. Him encouraging contestants to break shit, cause problems. I was like, yes. Make them crash out, especially production. Not even the contestants. Make production crash out. He also bitched them. Like, he thankfully wasn't like, owed money for going there. His, sponsors, his awesome audience rather, they helped, bring him there and whatnot.
Yeah.
But from the jump, you know, that was his prerogative, was to cause chaos, and
He
he
was
successfully
basically
did it. And
the hassle, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. He did a fantastic job. And also, like, at that point, too, I was just like, fuck this. I've been in a room for 3 days and I haven't eaten anything besides a frozen pizza that was still frozen. Literally, like, still frozen. Like, actually, like from the freezer. Just from the freezer. John literally walked in the room, through the box, and said, here you go. Here's your food. Since you guys are hungry. You've been in here for 3 days.
I
So,
remember
like,
eating them too, like that.
yeah, right. Yeah, Augustine. Yeah, you might have
It,
shared a bit. It was Carl, myself, and Kevin. And
it
we
wasn't. It wasn't as bad
literally.
as I was expecting. That's the thing. Like it just tasted like
Well,
a
no, it
pizza
didn't have
but
any
fucking
meat on it, so I
frozen.
wasn't worried about eating
You were
raw.
hungry. You were
Yeah, no, it
starving.
was the best. I will say to this day, because of how hungry I was, it was the best pizza I've ever eaten. Not because it was so good, but because it was
It,
the first thing I had eaten in over probably almost 48 hours. I was
It's
like,
like you guys are
this tastes
abducted by
so
Al
good.
Qaeda. Like legitimately, like if you had just like turned on it, like it looked like a live leak.
It looked like
Fucking
a red room.
footage.
Yeah, no,
I
it
was
was
gonna say
Yeah.
this
don't,
sounds.
level.
It sounds like a
don't be so mean to
DSS
Al
case.
Qaeda.
Yeah.
They would
I
have
just
had
wanna
falafel
we
or
got
something. Would have
we
been
got
cool.
We got some
oh
questions.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
We've
have some
got.
questions.
When did Mara actually start not believing in the show? Because it seemed like for the first week and a half or so, Mara was the biggest promoter of ADL Gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And again too, because I had been involved as like a production plant, like that was my prerogative. Was I was kind of there as like in my mind, you know, I was like, I don't care about the money. I'm gonna get paid either way. At the time, you know, I knew everything with the sponsors. I didn't know, so I purposely, willingly stayed in the dark about challenges. I had the full opportunity to do so, and I was like, nope, I want to be a good sport. I'm here to make content. I'm here to help promote this. Like, I am not here for the money. I'm here to basically be a freeloader without being a freeloader. You know what I mean? So in my mind, I was just like, what can I do that's good for content? I would say that again, when I went to get groceries with someone from production and he and I talked about like what was really going on, that was when I started being like, why am I giving this my all? You know? Or like me getting concussed, real, and then I got COVID. I was like, okay, you guys do not care about my well-being whatsoever. I'm just gonna start doing what I want, basically. If that means good content, even though I'm in a weird predicament right now, that's fine. If it means taking you all down with me, that's fine too. Don't care. I would say like I can't remember exactly which day it was that first grocery run I went on. But it was probably like right at that week mark, maybe a little bit less. I can't exactly pinpoint for you. If I look back at footage, I probably could, but I would say like yeah, it was right around that week mark. Because we had a first great couple days, and then from there it just kind of as it transpired, I was like, oh, something here is not right. Actually, you know what? Even then, what might have been it was when Mary was confronted about being 19, which they all knew, obviously, from the leaked audio. That actually might have even been it, because I might have gone on a grocery run one time before that, and then that happened, and I was really like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Like, and I pulled Mary aside in private, I think literally less than 24 hours after that, and was like, so tell me, did they know or not? And she said, yes, they knew. Without a doubt, they knew. This is a bit. And I was like, that's actually really fucking dangerous. Like, we can't just pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say like around the week mark, maybe a little bit less.
I have someone bringing up a very interesting point in the comments. I'm just gonna touch on that a bit. So after season 1, I'm gonna just do a little bit of lore here. After season 1, John was walking around LA and then got attacked by somebody with a knife, and they sliced his eye open, right? This was at a time when he was getting a lot of flack after season 1. Like, I'm talking like he was getting absolutely like slammed, and then all of a sudden he rocks up with like a big slice on his eye, and he's like, who was it? It was like a Letty fan or something ran up to him and sliced his eye.
I can answer this. I can answer this. So it wasn't after season 1, it was after 2.5.
Okay, yeah.
John got off the show, and okay, so John got off the show, and he I forget if it was he was at a gym or something, but essentially he cut his eye open, and he was like, hey dude, I'm gonna go and put this on Twitter and say that I got assaulted and by somebody from Portland. And I said, well, why don't we make this funny? And I said, originally I said some Taylor fan went and did this to me, and then he's like, no, change it. And so he goes and changes it to some fish tank fan went and did this to me. And yeah, no, that was fake. That was just him trying to drum up some sympathy or something along those lines. And he did get a lot. I told him at the time, like, dude, you can't make this seem like it's a hate crime or anything like that. And he's like, no, that's good for that's good for positive engagement. I'm gonna stop doing the John voice.
Yeah.
But he said that I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna say real quick that answers someone's question in chat about like, what do you guys think happened with
The mountain.
the most recent thing with John hurting himself. Pretty
That's
much.
what I'm saying. Did he just trip over and hit a rock? Like, I don't think anyone would have.
It's not even real blood. It's not even real. It doesn't even look real. I don't even think he fell. I think he literally had someone put that on him, his fiance or whatever.
Yeah.
That does not look
he
real.
has the resources for that though.
Fake blood?
I mean,
a fiance and 3 side chicks. Yeah, I think he can get a person to put fake blood on his head. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what I will say is John does tell us. Well, when I was in the NCO, he told us how he would get in fights all the time.
Okay.
So there is a maybe a 30% chance, I'll say, that he did get in a fight with somebody. John doesn't know how to fight, so.
I remember
More than
watching the
likely he
Jimmy
lost.
boxing match. Yeah, like I remember seeing that and just being like, oh, okay. Okay,
Also,
so
we have Sean D Sarcasm wants you, Mac, to talk about how you and Hades ran John's Twitter account because he doesn't know how to use the internet. I know it was talked about a little bit in the documentary, but maybe you expand on it.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, we saw John, and he was, he had this dying Twitter account. He has a following of 21,000 people, but he only has like 3 or 4 people liking it. And I was like, okay, well, what's the number one thing we can do to go and drum up like engagement? And I presented Hades the idea, who presented it to him. Give us your account for a little bit, and then we'll go and drum up engagement. And the first thing that I think up, and I might get a little bit of flack for this, but I say, okay, so Letty just made a tweet. Go ahead and comment under it the GIF of The Rock saying, "Shut up, bitch." And that got like 500 likes, and we're like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. And so we had him engage in just a little bit of Twitter drama every once in a while and make funny tweets, and that's what drove that up. And yeah, that's essentially that. Is we just thought it was funny to go and put, tweets in John's cadence and go and tweet it out, and then he'd get a lot of people liking it and saying, drum up a positive opinion of it. That's our whole goal that we were trying to do, because in his own words, he's not a social media person.
That brings up another question, actually. I do want to read this one comment from Cryptic and Unapproachable because it's really funny. He's calling John Smollett. They yelled his name. They yelled, "It's MAGA country." But for my question is then, do you remember when he was shit talking Sylvia a lot? Was that like kind of you guys leading him to do that? No. Was that on his own?
I picked up his Twitter a little bit before he went on Blood Games. So I want to say it was a week. His beef with Sylvia, that was entirely him. And him, everything before me, that was entirely him. There was, okay, I'll frame it like this. There was a handler of his Twitter who was tweeting out a bunch of Groiper kind of more right-wing stuff, and that was Blue. And so the thing was, Blue was failing as his Twitter handler, and that's why he gave it to me and Hades.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask about that because during 2.5, there was a tweet posted which actually made me kind of like really, really pissed off. And it was a tweet about Creature, and it was a poster made of Creature, and there were photos of Creature, like very lewd photos of Creature in this post, and this was posted to John's account during 2.5 that said, "John fucked the creature on his way to the ER, he clapped those fat Nazi cheeks, you didn't die mad. And
That was
from
me.
Wow.
from that
was
moment,
you?
that was you?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay, cool.
So
cool,
what
cool.
I will say is we weren't the only handlers. Like I can literally point out this is the problem is we weren't the only handlers, but now that
Yeah.
I've admitted that I'm a handler, everything's going to be attributed to me.
Okay.
No, I never said anything like that. What I will say is the drama that we kind of involved ourselves in, it was mostly just like playground insults.
Right.
Like I called Alex B a sissy girl one time, and he got really mad about that on stream. But that's like the extent that we did. We didn't like.
You keep it above the belt, 100%. Like when it comes to anything
exactly.
in like a public space, don't make it like. I think that's something that John just hasn't realized. Is like don't make yourself seem worse than the other person by bringing yourself like further down than them. You know, just be above the belt. Call them a silly baka. Do like dumb shit like that. Don't actually get personal because that's just like a bad look. And bro does always just gets personal, and you gotta keep it above the belt, bro.
I think the most insulting I ever got with the Twitter was I called Alex B's wife a -10, and then I said that Binks was a 4. That was the most insulting that I ever got with that thing.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand. Like sometimes I think that John is just like a human who, or like an alien that just went into Chat GPT and was like, "How can I be the worst person ever?" But I don't know. He's just so scary. Like in all seriousness, if I woke up and he was standing at the end of my bed, I would probably piss myself. But
okay, I'll speak for everybody here.
Happening, like in real life, that happened to us in real life.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, Mawa being woken up by Mawa. Mawa, make me a steak right now. Make me steak and eggs.
Yeah,
crazy.
Because my name is Leah, right? So whenever I would talk to him, he would call me Weir, and I couldn't not laugh because that's like probably the funniest fucking thing ever. So he'd be like, "Hi Weir, how are you today?" And I would just be like, "Fuck!" And I'll have like a full conversation being called a piss witch. Like it was so bad. It was like, "Weir, how are you?" I was like, "Oh fuck."
Oh,
Mawa.
Mac was about to say something, I think.
Yeah, I will say John is not somebody to be scared of. There was a moment when he's like sending me all my personal information and stuff, like where I was like, maybe I should take this seriously. John is not somebody you should make fun of him.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. You don't be scared of him, you mock him. That's
that man is scared of me. He's scared of a 100-pound white girl.
Well,
nobody should be scared of him.
He was kind of intimidated by me because I told him that I can leg press 120 kilos because I can, because I'm like 6 foot and I'm a cyclist. So I'm a pretty buff bitch. But I think I pity him. I don't think I'm.
He called me Hitler. I know that man is scared of me.
That is.
He called me Hitler. That clip is on my Twitter. He called me Hitler. Okay, Hitler. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right, buddy. Talking about.
Foxxx would whoop the shit out of John. I would literally like, you know what? Fuck it. John. Sorry, every single podcast we do, I call someone out to box. And it's been a lot of people, believe me. I've like called out Rachel, I've called out Bow Envy. John. Me, you. Gloves. Let's do it.
In the ring.
In the ring.
Fucking go.
I will tower over you and beat your ass. Come on, let's do it. I don't want to fight. I want to box. So, but
it's on now.
It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. But okay, so Rochelle, how have you been since? Like how have you felt? Was it really hard, like moving forward kind of thing? Because obviously you had an emotional connection to the show and you were treated like horribly, by the way, like horribly. And I can't imagine like the heartbreak that you felt during and after the show.
My name is Arishelle, but yeah, it was pretty pretty hard to bounce back. I'm not gonna lie. I was in like a rut for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I like before that, like before the show, I'd like play my trombone, like hang out with my friends, like I'm super active, like to go hiking, like to bicycle, and I literally was not doing any of that for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least I was just like he didn't. Okay, here's the thing. On the show, he told me that the allegations, the obvious ones, were lies. He told me, "Oh, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true." Then we came home. We flew home, and like a week and a half in, he told me, "Yeah, so I need to sit you down and tell you this, but it actually did happen." And I was like, I don't know. I felt like a lot of different emotions for sure. I felt like lied to, played. I felt like I was made to look like a fool, honestly. Like I went on the show just for him. I didn't have any motives. I didn't even want to win or anything like that. I just went on the show for him, and like the fact that I got backstabbed by the one person I went on the show for was pretty shitty. And I've been doing well now. I've been like kind of remembering, who I was before, and trying not to attach like the things that because we were together for 2 years. So and that's like from when I was out of high school and then I got with him. So like that's a really impressionable time frame. And so like it's really hard for me to disconnect like a lot of the things that I enjoy doing from him. So I think that's also why like it took me a while to bounce back, but I'm doing good now. Thank you for asking.
That's good. Yeah, cuz like just like how long were you guys together before the show?
Together like almost 2 years, I want to say.
That's insanity.
Yeah, we didn't meet John until like a year of us being together.
So
and
did you
I have a question.
watch Blue like change over that time, or was he always just the same?
That's a good question. I would say he changed. What a lot of people don't know is like about like a year and 3 months into our relationship, I actually broke up with him because I was sick of what I was dealing with. And I obviously got back together with him, but I would say like during that time he changed for like 4 months. And then like when we got back together, he was a different person. And then I don't know. Yeah, I would say he definitely did change a lot from like the start to. And I definitely do think that a lot of it was due to John. I think that John was a terrible influence. I said it on my Twitter, when John was like trying to call him out and say like, oh, like that's a funny thing about like my association with the show is that no one can actually say anything about me. They just say things about Blue. And like that was like his only defense was, oh, your boyfriend was on the show and he was part of production and it was a shitty show. It's like and like, he was like saying like, oh, like he was unfaithful, he was trying to fuck every bitch in the house. And I was like, sure, but do you not realize that you probably were the person who inspired him to do that by cheating on your fiance with several other people over multiple vacations that we've gone on together? Like he just was not a good influence at all. And I definitely he changed a lot.
It shocks me. Like honestly, it shocks me, especially like coming back to like Christian values, Christian show. This is like something you guys were facilitating like a very warm feeling, not what happened, and that just seems so wrong. Like it just seems so fucked up. It makes me so sad.
But actually, speaking of Blue, there's like in the documentary, it made it seem like he was really excited to beat women. I
can see it in his face.
He's lucky I did not give him the opportunity. I'll tell you that right now. I would have taken a lamp to his head, and I nearly did. I should have. I totally should have.
Yeah, when you were like in the cell and you stood up like with the lamp and you were like, oh, excuse me, I swore you were gonna crack in my head.
I wanted to really badly, but I was like, I'm in a different state. I don't know any of these people. None of them are gonna bail me out of jail. I don't want to go to jail. I cannot do this again. I'm not going back to jail. I'm too pretty for jail. So, yeah, I wanted to really badly, and then I actually didn't know that clip of him that's in the doc of him being like, I thought I was gonna have an opportunity to be a bitch today. I thought she was gonna. I didn't see that until this documentary came out. I had no idea he said that. And I was, in retrospect now, I'm like, I should have done it and should have given him the opportunity to flail his little fucking arms at me. He would have gone through a wall. Like the whole airshell made would have been nothing. I would have put him through into the other wall into Shoddy's bedroom.
Yeah.
He would have actually felt the wrath. I was already mad because of them letting my phone number get doxxed, and then on top of that, him talking crazy to me and everything else that I had kind of like let stew, because he walked in on me twice in the bathroom and then picked up my panties with a pool cue, thinking he was slick, thinking it was Mary Jane's. I should have done it. Absolutely. One of the few regrets I have on that show with my behavior was not actually hitting him over the head with a fucking lamp. I totally should have. He would have deserved it, and then some. Would have been worth it.
Yeah.
Mara, to be fair, real quick, to be fair, that clip of him in the bedroom talking with John, that wasn't about you. That was about Shoddy. It was the day before.
Okay, fair.
What I will say. Go ahead. Okay. What I will say is that seeing what he did to Arishel, because I was already at home at that point. I think me and Mara and everybody else was home at that point. When I saw that, there was kind of like a me and Hades were still friends at the time, and we both had like our individual like disagreements with Blue, where we both wanted to beat him up really badly. What I will tell you is, if either of us were on that set, and I can still speak for him because I knew him at this point, is Blue would have probably had to go in an ambulance home. Like that was way uncalled for. That was something that would have never happened if we were still there.
I couldn't even believe that I was watching that with my own eyes, because I watched it live when that happened. I actually watched that happen live because we were antagonizing through TTS, and then of course we filed chargebacks because John's not getting any
That
more
is so the
money than
funniest
he
thing
did.
ever.
Right. So like what? But yeah, no, watching that happen live, appalled me, and I was like, oh no, I should have hit this motherfucker. I wish I would have given him the opportunity to put his hands on me. I absolutely should have hit him over the head with a fucking lamp. He would have deserved it. He totally deserved it. He's lucky I didn't.
Yeah.
You should have done it and then just say like, that's content, guys.
And the fact that nobody in besides me when the actual fight was happening, I was like, where are all these I'm sorry, I almost said something bad. All these guys in the house, and none of them came to the aid. Like nobody.
Yeah.
Like how are me and Shoddy the ones trying to break up the fight? It doesn't make any sense. Like why was everybody was just sitting there holding their junk. Like nobody was doing anything. I was my gosh. It was, and then they were trying to say, oh, production told us that a fight was gonna happen. I was never told that. I'm still not even sure if I 100% believe that was actually a thing, because I think that they probably were just trying to cover their tracks and say, hey, you know what? We were super unprofessional. Do you think you could tell them that we planned the fight? Like, I don't even think that it was actually
Probably not.
And why would you not tell me, all the people that were involved in the fight? Why would you not tell me, like, hey, Blue's gonna fight them, just so you know, don't freak out. Like, why would you tell all the other people? It was just none of it made sense.
Yeah. I know that the TTS being mentioned brings up a question that I remember seeing that. I thought their PayPal got suspended and everyone got their money back after ADL ended.
Yeah.
So I thought they made $0 from TTS.
I think it was via a different form of payment that they did make some money from TTS, because before I had actually, I want to say it was Stripe. It probably was. Before it, or Google Pay. I can't remember. When I had left, oh my god, I was mentioning, I thought. When I had left, before I got kicked from the Discord that most of this was operating in, and being talked about in the NCO Discord, actually Van, and I probably have the screenshot somewhere, Van being like, so where's the TTS money going? And nobody answering him directly. And I thought it was super funny that I got kicked. I just thought it was hilarious because he even was asking that before the show even ended.
So I can speak on this because I was part of that Blue space. Blue, it was Blue's power chat where all the TTS money went to and went through and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So Blue had been promised at the very beginning that he was going to get the TTS money. It was only about $3,000 that we made with the TTS money, because it's not like Fish Tank where people will pay $15 for a TTS. Nobody was going to pay more than $1 to go and speak on our welfare show. So he made about $3,000, and rather than give John access to that account, he just, up and left. And so they had no donation form or way of donating until Van had to go and set up a new way of donating. Well, yeah, Blue didn't even realize what he had done, and so the charges started going and sending back, and then he went and, he fixed that.
Yeah.
So if that gives you an idea, Blue has that money. He did not steal $10,000 as John tries to claim. No.
So, in conclusion, has this just been like that Spider-Man meme where everybody's pointing at different people, but like it's basically like they should all be pointing at John? Because like in theory, he facilitated this whole thing.
And that's what I've been saying. Yeah, I've been saying like everyone's. I mean, I get everyone should be held accountable for their own actions, but at the same time, John was ahead. He is liable for all of this. He brought these people on. He made all these false promises. He, told people one thing, was telling people the other thing. Like at the end of the day, it comes back to him for sure.
He is the most responsible, but the other two in particular are the most culpable, and then there's different degrees of culpability, I think, from other people involved, in my opinion. Because again, I wouldn't have been involved if it wasn't for Van. Airshaw wouldn't have been involved unless it was for Blue.
Yeah.
I think that, but like she's saying, John is the facilitator of all of it, and they wouldn't have acted that way unless John told them not to.
Okay. So does John just need like a mom?
Yeah, his trailer park family did not raise him well or whatever. I mean, having like 5 siblings, will do that. Can't pay attention to your children. I'm sorry. The man is below the dirt on the bottom of my shoe. I will speak about his family because of the way he spoke about them in front of me. The guy is literally from the bottom of the barrel, and he thinks that he has this like come up story, and it's like, no, you are just as bad as the rest of your family. You are a swindler, a grifter. You have a terrible reputation in your town for running for office, acting the way you do, all of the above. You deserve every slate you get. It reflects on everybody in your life.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Because once again, as Shauna said, like he was the face of the show. So like really anything bad that happened reflected on him. And the fact that he is trying to now reflect that onto everybody else is just insanity to me. Like,
yeah, there's zero accountability with him. And this isn't the first time that he's been confronted on things that he had done and, things that he didn't do. In this case, like feed you guys and pay you and all that sort of stuff. I remember there was another space of John being confronted by Lance from Fish Tank. And that was over certain things that he had said to people. He was sending people certain messages, certain photos. I won't go into details, but he got called out for that. And even back then, he was just denying all accountability. He did admit wrongdoing 3 hours in almost towards the end of the conversation. And back then I was giving John the benefit of the doubt. And then when I see him host that space with you, Mac, I just saw the exact same thing. Except he was a bad liar, so he couldn't really get out of accountability for some things. But anything that he was just caught doing, he just brushed it off immediately. And the rest of the allegations, he just completely denied and just gaslit you and other people. And that is who he is. Because he's
that is
shown
one
that he's, yeah.
That is one thing that I'll say is I drank the Kool-Aid for a long time. Back to the cult analogy that I kind of gave at the beginning. A lot of us drank that Kool-Aid for the longest time because we're like, this is John from Fish Tank. He's not going to lie to us. Yeah, and it just slowly we started realizing like this is messed up. This is what am I doing? Why am I here? They're going through contestants' cell phones. Hey, wouldn't Jet get in trouble for this? You know, it just started like devolving, and then I want to say, when they told like somebody in the organization would go and say, I can't take this anymore, F these guys. And then they'd immediately, like, there would be a fatwa against them to where John would go and say, block them on everything. You're not allowed to talk to them at all. If I find out that you're talking to them, you're in trouble. And it's like, I don't know how to approach that. I'm a grown man. Nobody tells me what to do. And so I would keep on talking to them. It was night 13 when, you know, the alcohol poisoning happened, and I almost got in a fight with Blue that night, and, you know, all that happened. And I was told about the Retardio stuff that I was just like, yeah, no, this is a joke of a organization. I don't know what I'm even a part of. And so I started going and trying to tell everybody that was in, you know, on the production, hey, these guys are all twisted. And I think Mara was one of the first to wake up, and then slowly other people started waking up too. I want people to kind of understand this, as far as like those that are still in the NCO and those are out of it. The people that are still in it just haven't realized what they're a part of. That's my main feeling. All right, is that they don't understand what John does to anybody else. That they're still in there thinking, hey, John's a good guy, and at this point, I'll say it, John's a cult leader. That's how the NCO operated. So that's my opinion.
Very much feels like as well, especially with the way that he conducts things with like the don't talk to this person, don't talk to that person. It feels like when you're at primary school or like grade school or whatever, you know, and then like somebody doesn't get along with somebody, so they're like, oh, don't talk to them in the classroom or run away from them. Like they're not our friend anymore. Like it felt very immature. And it's like, as a business jack, you know, you should be able to understand that like sometimes you just got to suck it up for the sake of like your business. I don't know, man. I struggle to understand John in any way, shape, or form.
It's cocaine. That's how you describe it. It's cocaine.
Okay. Yeah. He's a snow bunny. It's the best way to explain it. Oh, yeah. John. I just, yeah. Moving forward, like, what do you guys want to see? What are in the horizons? Like, what in the ideal world, what would be like the ideal ending for you guys? I'll let you all say it like, individually, because I'm sure you've all got different ones, or maybe even the same. But like, what's your ideal world a year from now? What do you want like to be the conclusion?
You guys go first.
I'd love to let Arishal go first.
All right.
I'd love to let Arishal go first.
No, I literally don't know what to say. Like, okay, in context, like what I want going on in my life, or what I want out of this situation with ADL and John.
I think more so the ADL and John thing. Like, how do you want like this chapter to conclude?
Honestly, I pray and I hope that everyone that is still involved with John, you know, doesn't get hurt in the same way that we did. You know, that they're not nearly as close to him as we were. Yeah. And so that they don't get burned. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, John does burn everybody that he comes in contact with. Like, at some point, he uses them, and then once they don't have a use for him anymore, he just throws them away, cuts them off, and moves on. So I hope that, you know, people come to their senses and realize this, you know, probably isn't a person I should be doing business with. And honestly, I hope he turns it around himself. I hope he takes accountability for what he did and for what he still continues to do. I hope he, you know, apologizes to everyone for lying on them, for putting them in a horrible situation. I hope that all of this happens. Do I think it's gonna happen? No. I mean, but I mean, we'll see. And I hope that Augustine is able to maybe pursue something, some sort of legal action. And I think Carl should definitely like try to pursue, or I hope Carl gets paid a year from now for sure. And as far as for me, I honestly I want to put all of the trauma and like the bad stuff about the show behind me. But I did learn a lot about myself, and like I learned about what my limits are when it comes to people. And I met some really awesome people that I will continue to talk to. I want to work with them and get my own name going, and hopefully nobody asks me any more questions about Blue. Now. But yeah,
I love
make
that.
a name for my.
Yeah, you're not
more than
Blue's ex-girlfriend. Yeah, 100%. You're
You're
yourself. Yeah, exactly.
I want my 7 fucking Solana. Like 7 Solana is not a lot, okay? Solana's at like 160 right now. It really ain't shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's about the principle. I had to bitch him into paying me. That part of that money was not money that he even paid me. I think he gave me 1 Solana out of that 7.
Yeah.
Because I made them. Because they owed me for reimbursement for travel and for my art, etc. I want my 7 Solana. I also don't want to be labeled as a failed, participant of a show because I just wanted to build my art portfolio and then it spiraled and snowballed into something else. This is not my forte. I definitely can have a command of a camera, but it's like I don't want to be associated with John for the rest of my internet career, whatever you want to call it. Again, I was Ziomaro before the show. I was doing my own thing before the show. I'll do it afterward. I want my 7 Solana. I'd love to continue pursuing digital art and all of those things. And again, as Arishel put it, my own name, 'cause, like, John ain't shit. He's literally scared of me. That's why he won't unblock me to talk in his spaces. So that and just growing. I've done it before. I had a social media presence in the past. I could totally do it again. This was a great Kickstarter for it. I don't think he will ever see the error of his ways. I don't even want an apology. I would just love to see him continue to be blacklisted from any future type of MDE fish tank related project whatsoever, unless it is solely to make fun of him. Because he's never going to learn his lesson until he is fully shunned from the community that made him what he is. I'd love to see Love America fall off the face of the earth as well. I think that man does not deserve any of the credit that he gets. He has an ego that's far too big for the person that he is because of his stupid fucking hats. It's the only product he makes that's decent. Those hats are literally the only quality product he makes, and they're outsourced. And he has Mexicans make them for him that are illegal in his warehouse. So, yeah, like, so, I mean,
Go
like,
America.
I love America.
Love America, outsourcing my product and not able to read a Bible. So yeah, those are some of the things I would absolutely love to see, like, again, just people supporting the homies that I made from the show, supporting Arishel, supporting Augustine, shit, even Carl. I want to see Carl get paid. Love you, Pookie Bear. Like, just can't stand some of these people, man. Like, they're just actually evil. That's what I want to see is the ostracization and falling off the face of the earth, fading into obscurity, because that is truly what they deserve. They've made their bed, they should sleep in it. And of course, just doing my own thing.
I love that. All right, Mac, what you got for us?
So I just remembered because I wanted to go and say this earlier. You guys mentioned John's beef with Lance. John is afraid of tie-dye. John, when I first started talking to him, because he said that Lance was going to go and make a video about him, and he was like scared, and like that was one of the big NCO like scares that happened at the very beginning. That when I joined, I wish that Lance would take the opportunity to come back to YouTube
and release it again.
Maybe release that thing, maybe with a little bit of influence from what I did, but it just hope on the horizon. With me, I don't want to be an influencer.
No,
I wanted to be a writer, and like I said, this was always going to be a writing credit. And then I got out of ADL, and I got 6 people who contacted me, including Cloud Runner, the original cameraman, and he was going to go and direct like a Hollywood-made documentary about ADL, basically what you guys just saw, but with Hollywood stuff. And he ghosted us, and that never came about. And everybody that was going to join that project basically had to go and hop out. And so it was just like, okay, well, I'm sitting here, I have all this footage. Should I just go and do it? And so I would put 2 months of my time into this. And so technically, I gave 10 months of my life to ADL, pre-production, production, and then whatever you want to call this, post-production. I want to move on. I want to delete the 300 gigabytes of of VODs that I have on my computer. I haven't played a video game in so long. I want to go and delete all that, install Oblivion, you know, just have some fun. And so this is probably going to be one of the last basically things that I put towards ADL.
I love that.
The whole point that I wanted to do with this documentary is to go and give Arishel, Augie, Mara the chance that they actually deserved. Because our whole goal with this whole thing was to actually find new creators and give them their start. That was our whole thing. And then the battle plan was after we give them their start, they'd want to go and do business with us in the future. All right, kind of like how Fish Tank did with Letty, where they had her on for season 1. Now they're bringing her back for season 4.
No.
But we didn't get to do that. I'm hoping that I was able to help them somewhat. I want to see their careers flourish. That's what I want.
I think it's now that the whole story is out and not just what we saw on a camera, I think that like you guys will get your piece. Like in all seriousness, the tides are turning to the point where people are just like waking up to the bullshit, and they're like, oh, okay, we done goofed. Like, why did we believe that it was gonna be different, sort of thing? Especially when you take into consideration like there are patterns in people's behaviors, and if you like, not to be like, you know, that kind of person, but like if it quacks, it's normally a duck, you know? So if it licks a window, it normally is. But I think that you guys are gonna wait. Augie, are you still here or are you asleep?
I think Augie just gave up on trying to keep coming back because his Wi-Fi kept dropping.
Okay. I was gonna ask what he wanted from.
Yeah, he's using a hotspot.
Oh, okay. That's fair. But like, thanks to Augie for joining us. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, thank you, Augie, for coming on the show.
We've got Sean in the thing saying, "Don't think John makes his own decisions. He lets other people think for him." True. Yeah. I remember ages ago, especially after season 1, John had like a really, really cool collaboration with Froggy Fresh, who is like one of my favorite people just in general. Like I used to watch Tosh.0 and watched him when he was Krispy Kreme, you know, and to see John collaborating with Froggy Fresh and just being like, oh my god, they made a song together. That was really cool. And it just saddens me that he had all this potential to be this incredible creator, but he just didn't realize that, like, he was the butt of the joke. And I
think Frank put it very well himself by saying that, you know, like, John refuses to be able to laugh at himself. And if you're going to be in any type of content creation, you have to be able to do that.
Exactly.
And he cannot. His ego is too big to do it.
Yeah. It's like if he had just taken a step back and just been like, oh, wait, no, if I do this, I can do it, but I've just got to like drop the ego just a little. It would have been a completely different. It's just sad. It's such wasted potential. Like, in all seriousness.
I feel like John is just kind of like a little kid still, and probably never emotionally matured properly. Just everything he's done, and just how he acts, and just like I said, everything, I think just points to just stunted emotional growth, and he's still kind of like a child.
Mm.
So what I will say is that John is in control of his actions,
Mhm.
and he likes to surround himself with people to give the vibe that he isn't in control of his actions. He is a very manipulative person. He's a very malicious person.
Mm.
He'll bring around people and then say, "Oh, the only reason why I was doing Nazi stuff is because Blue was around and he influenced me to do it." And so we have the idea, well, let's keep Blue out of it, but
Mm.
he still goes and does that kind of thing.
Mm.
He likes to push off accountability to other people.
Right.
That's one of the main things that I found. And that trifecta of John, Van, and Blue, that's what all three of them do. And
Mm.
I guess that's why they got along so well, is because, they were all the same person. John's problem, I will say, is ego
Mhm.
and the steroids
Mhm.
and the cocaine and the current cult, basically, that he formed.
Yeah.
That's not helping him.
Mm.
I hope that John goes to rehab, especially because he's about to have a kid.
Mhm.
And I hope he gets all of that out of his system so that he's able to be a good dad.
Mm.
I think that he should abandon the internet. How do I say this?
Agreed.
Me, as a person who wants entertainment, I want to see him back on Fish Tank, and I want to see them just put him in a room with, put him in the cell with just TTS going full blast,
Cryokino.
no coddle
Yeah.
whatsoever. Yeah, I want to see him break.
Mhm.
But with that said, I also want to see him grow as a person. He needs to go to rehab. He needs to get all off that stuff that he's on, and he needs to just sit down and say, "What the hell am I doing with my life?" At the end of the day, John is just a part-time party bus driver.
Mm.
That's all he is, and we've gone and made him into this mythical figure. And I'll say I was guilty of helping do that, but that's what he is.
Mm.
So he needs to realize what the hell he's doing with his life.
He's
That's
just
my
a
2
dude.
cents.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
definitely. That's 100%. Like, he's just a dude.
Yeah, he clearly got like buck broken by Fish Tank, and it just ruined his brain. I
And
feel like
that's kind of like to touch on that, that's kind of a really sad thing that does kind of happen after going on an internet reality television show, especially one like Fish Tank or ADL. For instance, my experience was going on Fish Tank was the easiest part about becoming a part of the Fish Tank community. Like, going on Fish Tank and like hearing the TTS and like getting fucked with and stuff, easy. It's when you leave Fish Tank and now you have all of these eyes on you telling you different things every day, constantly wanting your attention, constantly wanting all of these things. It your brain starts like fucking short circuiting, man. Like, I became like almost agoraphobic for, I would say, at least 6 months after Fish Tank, because I was scared that I was going to go outside and somebody was going to attack me or yell at me, or I was going to be at work and somebody would call my work and be like, "Oh, this person was blah blah blah." Like, it does really bad things to people, and I feel like you either flourish and accept it and just be like, "Okay, well, this is my life now," or you fight it as hard as you can, and that's when things get really bad. And I think that's really the reality of it, and it's really sad that people have to go through that just to have fun with their friends, because in the end, that's all we're really trying to do, is just have fun with other people, and that's really shit. But
Did you guys get
I agree.
Did you guys get any flack on social media from any of John's friends or people that supported John or anything like that? Did people harass
Absolutely.
you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
Yep.
figured.
Well, the thing is so the moment that I left and I realized the reality of the situation and he didn't fully still pay me, I took immediately to Twitter and was like, "Hey, John, by the way, where's my money?" And then when I got robbed because someone took the information they needed from my phone to take my money, then I was like, "Hey, so like, where's my money?" Because it was one of the three of you, or all three of you, or two of you, doesn't matter. Where's my fucking money? You need to answer some questions here. So I put him on blast immediately. And of course, people were in my replies being like, "Oh, well, giving a 19-year-old booze isn't that bad." Or just like trying to like do this like weird excuses or like, oh well, you got involved, so you know, like
justifying
again,
everything. Yeah.
right, justifying it, not like I will never be a victim. Like John is now a victim, like bend over, but like
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
trying to victim blame me basically, and I was just like, bro, I was just trying to make art for like a show. I was just trying to build my portfolio, man, and I got like asked to be on this thing, and then like I helped pick these people, and like now I feel guilty because I put these people in this situation, and like I was just like, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about, and that's why I was so glad that Mac made this in the first place, because then I'm like, everybody sees now what I was talking about when initially I took to these spaces and was like, here's what's been going on. Nobody like understood the gravity of it until the footage was really put on display. So yeah, absolutely, they were all mad. They were super mad.
I can speak on myself.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna bring up another thing with the Skippy. Because this wasn't brought up in the space, and I felt like it should have been brought up in the space. So what was John doing with Mary Jane for 6 hours? Did they go see a movie?
I don't know. What do you
think?
apparently.
What movie goes for 6 hours? Was
apparently it's 6 hours. Apparently.
The Dogman movie 6 hours?
Apparently, you know, according to them, they were at the movie for 6 hours and then they went to the mall. And this, that, and the third. I don't know what money he. Actually, I do know it was Van's money that he went and bought her stuff with, supposedly. But she came back with nothing. So we were like, what do you mean you went to the mall? What are you talking about? You came back with nothing.
Okay. It's like, he bought me like a bunch of new makeup. I got spoiled. And John was like, yeah, see, this is what happens when you're a good contestant. It's like, bro, you literally came back with nothing and you almost got your ass whipped by me. So what do you mean? Like, what did you get from it, for real?
Yeah.
Besides, you know, what they can't say.
Well, yeah, because, like, I remember seeing that in the documentary and Skippy, like, talking about it and just being like, that's concerning, for one. Like, that is really concerning. That shouldn't be happening at all. So, yeah.
Also,
yeah.
Skippy's documentary, I mean, kind of documentary, he you know, he was on and he was talking about his experience, and he has a YouTube video about it. He can confirm that people weren't eating days on end. That all this stuff with Blue and everything he was talking about, and that as well, I guess.
He was the only man in that room to actually speak up on my behalf and back me up. And then also, Van being like, "Oh, there's food. What are you talking about?" Swings the fridge open. The only thing that's in there is cold cuts and like
snowballs
in the freezer. And Skippy, of course, didn't bother to say anything, but like, of course, immediately in my mind, because I'm not an idiot, and then Skippy says afterwards, he's like, bro, I had a fucking heart transplant. Like, I can't eat cold cuts. Like, it's like this, like, not to call Skippy a pregnant woman, but it's like the same thing with pregnant women. They can't eat cold cuts or sushi for a reason. Like, it's the same thing. Like, he literally had a whole organ put in his body. Like, are you stupid? Are you dumb? Like, what? No, he just was not thinking and did not care.
Who was the
Skippy can't go on roller coasters.
Who was the person who brought COVID in the house again?
Sammy.
So
that was Sammy.
That was Sammy. He was the winner of Bro Tank. He's also a childhood friend of John's. Sammy is probably, and I'm going to say this, if there were ever a victim in this whole situation, and especially with me releasing this documentary that I feel bad for, it's Sammy. Because Sammy told me a bunch of things that I actually said in the documentary that he probably got in trouble for with John. John was his childhood friend. They have known each other since they were little kids and neighbors and all that. And in high school, John became his bully. And ever since then, John, they reconnected recently. And John's been, you know, demanding money from him. And John just really fucking abuses this kid. And at that, he also uses this kid as a shield from any kind of criticism. John brought this kid on the show with the kid having COVID and John knowing about it. And then I had to go and scramble to like, yo, we can't have you here because, you know, I've never been in this position before in my life. And I get a call from John saying, like, if you send Sammy home, you're getting sent home. And I'm just like, okay. And so, yeah, John, I think the main takeaway that you want to know about that whole thing is that John had one of the NCO members actually fabricate a COVID note to go and say that the kid didn't have COVID,
Yeah.
but the NCO member was like, that makes no sense. So he fabricated a note that said the kid did have COVID. So it ended up just like complete egg on John's face. On John's face.
Did he not read the form before he started reading it out, or?
Exactly my point.
No,
Bro did not. They didn't even put the right.
You think he would?
It all was wrong, and even like whenever the contestants were like I remember grabbing the phone and I was like, this is literally just confirming that he has COVID and how to deal with it. And this date says this, and he was like, oh no, that's the address. That's it. Like all of it, it was just there was so much wrong with it. There was so many holes in his little plan. It just fell apart so fast.
It's just so messy. It's so messy. It's so messy.
Yeah, there was literally typos in it too. I was like, what?
You could have used Chat GPT, and you wouldn't have had any what?
Something.
My God.
Incompetent. He doesn't think that far ahead. Like, how did you think? Okay, I'm gonna even though I know this person's sick, I'm gonna bring him on the show. He might be coughing. Nothing of it. Like, oh, these people might get sick. Whatever. Oh shoot, they need proof that he's not sick. Like, he doesn't think so far ahead. Like, it just all catches up to him, and it's just hilarious.
It made no sense to me, like the whole thing. And then Mac, being the big brain that he is, went up to the camera with Midori and former contestants, results being like, Midori tested positive for COVID. You've all been exposed.
John could have killed Skippy with that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Like, I want to say this, and it's probably been touched on, but it's like, okay, so Fish Tank Production, they are all very creative people, and they are all very turned on people. They all like speak with each other and everything. There is a lot of improv that goes on during production of Fish Tank. I think he saw that and was just like, yeah, I can do that. It doesn't look that hard. I can do it. Doesn't look that hard. I'm smart. I've done it before. I can do it. But he can't. Like, he couldn't, and nobody really told him that, right? Did anybody tell him that?
I don't think so.
You'd be a naysayer and a non-believer if you told John that he couldn't do something. Or you were just being realistic with him, is what it was. You had no loyalty to him. You wanted him to fail. That's what his response would have been.
Yeah, he would have yelled at you. As a member of production, he would have yelled at you.
I'm sorry. So just to go back, did Sammy think that he wasn't contagious, or did he know?
So Sammy literally told me that he had COVID as soon as he entered, and I mean, technically, I had just been exposed to COVID because I gave him a hug on entry. So I'm like, oh, great. But yeah, that's what that was. So he's like, hey, dude, I have COVID. I'm like, oh, well, why are you here? And so that turned into a whole thing. So
I
yeah.
actually remember John saying that Sammy would be driving down and that he was sick as well. Prior to this, before we even got to Madras, which is where the house actually was, and he didn't say COVID. I don't know if Sammy knew, like, to answer the full true question is that, like, again, Sammy is like not a malicious person. Like, he's a very naturally funny character, just his personality. I don't think it was like his intent at all. I don't even think he thought through the fact of like, oh, I might get these people sick. I don't think he himself, it had dawned on him, because Sammy is unlike John, whereas like John is malicious. John has that forethought or lack thereof to be malicious, where Sammy just doesn't. That's just not the way he operates. Sammy's very go with the flow because he's runs a business and helps John out and is along for the ride. There's not, honestly, I can say, like, truthfully, like, there's really not a malicious bone in that kid's body. Like, that's just not how he operates. Like, he's a good egg. He's just easily taken advantage of. As John would put it, he's so R-word that he's smart. Like, that's the best way I can, like, put it for you. And like, I don't mean that as a slight to Sammy whatsoever.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Super, like, he is a good guy.
So
not
he didn't he didn't really realize that everyone was gonna get like sick in the
Correct.
house.
He did not think
Okay.
of that whatsoever. Like he just didn't. It just didn't even dawn on him. You know, he was just trying to help John.
Sean.
Yeah, I would say that he, he might have. I don't know. I think, how could you not realize that you're going to get everybody else sick and you're sick, But I think that he knew that, but he's so loyal to John that he was like, I'm just going to go. Like, he wants me to do it. I'm just going to show up anyway. I think he did know, but he was just like, well, this is what John wants. I'm going to do it. With any other thing, they were using Sammy's credit card. They were like literally using him, using his car, not filling up his tank. Like, Sammy got taken advantage of so much. And I think it's all because he's so loyal to John.
So, Sean brought up a good point, saying Sammy not only knew, but in the hot mic they were pressing him for money to buy more coke, and he said he can't because he has to pay his hospital bill. Like,
right.
That's really wrong. Like, that is morally bankrupt. And
he still pressured him to do it anyways. He still did it anyways.
I'm sorry, I had to tune out for a second. Are you guys saying that John pressured Sammy, or that Sammy is doing stuff himself?
No. John pressured Sammy.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say is, as much as John claims to be autistic and not in control of his own actions, all of that can actually be applied to Sammy. Sammy is legitimately, autistic. Like, you have a conversation with him, and you can like clearly tell that he's like that. And I feel bad for Sammy because John tells him to do all this stuff, and he'll just go and do it. Sammy thinks Sammy is a wild man. Sammy will do all sorts of jackass type content that you go and ask him to do. He'll automatically do it because he wants to be known as like the hardest MFer there. But at the end of the day, he just does everything John tells him to, because other than that, like John has some kind of control over Sammy, and
I would best
it sucks
describe
to
it as
see in person.
a trauma bond, honestly, more than anything. It would best be described as a trauma bond. Like,
damn, that's like really sad that John just takes advantage of this person who's been by his side like his whole life, basically. That's kind of stinky. I'm not really a big fan of that one.
I just didn't know like Sammy's like whole deal, because it's like, we were shitting on John for bringing him in the house, but it's like I was thinking, well, how like is it any like portion of Sammy's fault for knowing and purposely doing that? But it's like it obviously doesn't seem like that's the case to me.
Yeah.
Dude, if you walked over to Sammy and you said I don't know, I'll sell you this lemon for $5,000, you could actually talk him into it. He's a very influential person, or highly influenced person.
Yeah.
That's what I will say. I love Sammy, but that is something that people who interact with Sammy need to like understand, because he's being taken advantage of by John. I hope that Sammy like does something someday where he gets away with John and makes his own content. But I don't think that'll ever happen, just because of the situation. They still live next to each other at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, also Sean D Sarcasm brings up that they paid him 10 grand in the pilot episode and made him say he bought a new car with it.
Yep.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
And he went along with it because, he's like, well, John's my friend. I want to do this. So, I covered it in the money section, but there's a good chance that John spent $5,000 of Sammy's like business money, and just using this guy for money, and he's not going to pay it back. I hope he pays him back, but knowing John, he probably won't.
That's just awful, man.
That is awful.
You have to be a real piece of shit to do that.
Yeah. And to pretend to be like his friend, like that sucks.
Yeah, there's no excuse for that. Some people are blaming John's autism for, the reason behind all this. There's autistic people.
Autism. Oh my god.
Right. There's autistic people that don't manipulate people.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
No.
He's a speech impediment. That he amps up for play. He doesn't know.
I've seen him get a lot of sympathy for stuff like that, and that's what's sickening the most, because that's enabling his bullshit behavior. Are all the people that justify him are on his side, even in the space. Like, I couldn't even believe half the people that were speaking because they were just, defending him left and right. I'm not going to name names, but it was really surprising to see how many people actually do support that behavior from him.
Names, Tim Stabler's touched me.
Dude, him saying "I want to keep the rock and roll alive" was the funniest thing I think I've ever heard.
That was amazing.
I want to keep rock and roll and the punk scene alive.
There's no way that man's real.
John is the rock and roll punk scene.
Where did John find him? Like, what?
So,
and the fact that nobody on the space knew who he was. We're like, who are you?
Arichelle, back when John did his political campaign, he would just go and tell a bunch of the people to go and follow him on Twitter. And so this was one of the guys that he met in that scene. And I'll relate this to kind of what we're just dealing with now this week. That guy, Cloud Runner, Ryan, the original cameraman, he's back with the NCO along with Tim Stabbers. And more than likely, they're going to be doing ADL2 with John's crew. I am going to ask you guys, did you guys see how mad I was getting whenever Tim Stabers would talk?
No, because
I was getting, that's when I really started to get mad.
He had no idea what he was talking about, but he was like throwing grenades at everyone. Like,
I couldn't believe he was a real person. Like,
now,
where?
You obviously want to make be a Hollywood type Mac, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the maddening part, because it's like, no, I just made this because nobody else was going to put the story out, and he's like trying to critique it, like it's obvious that you haven't gone and done anything. I think one of the last things that I'll end up doing is making a critique of his supposed 30-minute film that was all self-shot that he's selling online. I think that'll be a fun movie to review.
Okay.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, but speaking of Tim, did you know him beforehand?
Did
or was
anybody
like that
know
the
him?
first time? Yeah, did anyone even know him before he just
I had never heard John speak about him once. I've never seen him anywhere. No idea who that man is.
So
I have seen him on.
Nobody knew who this guy was, and he just started talking, and we were like it was a record scratch. Like when he started speaking, I was like, wait, who is this guy? Like I looked at his page, I was like, I don't even know who this dude is. Like, what?
I don't think John even knew who he was. He was just having him up there to gas him up, which is what he did. He literally sucked his dick in that space.
So
and
Cloud
was,
Runner went and
defending him
did
left and right.
Cloud Runner went and did a 9-hour. I shouldn't even say that. He reacted to the doc. All right, I'm not going to judge by the hours that he reacted, but he reacted to the doc, and he had Tim Stabers on for part 2 and the rest of it. First off, Cloud Runner refused to go and react to the alcohol segment. Just completely skipped over it. Said that nothing happened there. It was all irrelevant. And while Tim Stabers was there, he was going and critiquing all kinds of stuff. Well, I got to go and tune in for his part 3 reaction where he had Tim Stabers there. And I called Tim Stabers an old man who knows nothing about what he's talking about. Or rather, an old druggie who knows nothing about what he's talking about. Because he justified giving minors on the set cocaine. And that really set him off, and he was like, I know how to dissolve cattle for a living. I'm a tough bastard. I dropped a kid once in high school. And it's like, who the fuck? It's some lolcow shit. I gotta be honest, dude. He's threatening violence over the internet over me calling him an old druggie who knows nothing. I don't know.
Saying you got into a fight is the most pussy thing that you can do. Like, yeah, I fought, dude.
I
can kick
dissolved
someone's
a cattle.
Dissolved cattle is so good.
What the fuck?
I dissolve cattle, and I can dissolve you.
I have that clipped on my Twitter if you guys want to watch it later. It was
a really funny
what
clip.
What the hell?
I'm not gonna lie. Him being like, I dissolve cattle for a living. I've been off the grid for 30 years. I was like, what am I listening to right now? There's no way you're a real person.
All right, Castaway. Like, what's going on? That's insane. Oh, I get like.
Mac, if you can find that clip and put it in our side chat, Foxxx can bring it up.
Okay, give me a second.
I've got the jumbotron.
Is it Is it the YouTube chat that I posted in?
Oh no, just in
in Discord.
Discord side
All
chat
right.
thing.
Let me pull up X here. For whatever reason, my phone's so hot right now.
We've got Sean in the comments saying, what really happened to John in season 1 is we gaslit him into thinking he was Andrew Tate and he never got the joke. It's so funny how these John handlers come out of nowhere all the time. It has to be coke dealers and John bragging about he's famous on YouTube at this point. Exactly. Like, hey, look how many Twitter followers I have. I'm famous. That's crazy. Just
Yeah, it all went to his head. It's very obvious, you know.
You either die a hero or live long enough to become the monster. That's what they say.
To become the snow dealer. Sorry.
Okay, but yeah, no. Tim Staber's very silly man. Very silly. Why are you putting your nose in this? This is also something that you should be not doing as an old man.
Yeah.
Get a hobby. That's all.
His hobby is making shitty movies.
We need to look John and
what
Alex
chat do I put it in?
Just the side chat for here. Like the Tank Talk
Just
live
put it in
side chat.
Okay.
Central and we'll
Yeah, I
grab
got it.
if you can't. Okay.
I love, the Megatron. So good.
I sent it. Can you guys see it? Because I can't see it.
Nope. It might take a little while to load.
All right.
I'm
gonna put it in one of the other chats.
Okay.
I'll put it in the app central.
No worries.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Are we still gonna want to look at the Zillow
Zillows?
houses today?
Maybe we can do a Thursday or a Friday.
That sounds good.
And do like the Zillow and the Cope. We have a Cope line. So basically, Cope stands for Conquering Our Painful Emotions. And people can leave 90-second messages on our message bank to tell us about their painful emotions. So we've got quite a few of them, but I'm not going to do it today. I don't think it's right.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Also, we got the videos in Yap Central Fox.
Awesome. Give me a moment. Oh, wait. But yeah.
Yeah, they did this, and then Cloud. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no. You go. I'm looking around for a second.
Okay. Cloud Runner goes and says that he can sue me for using the footage from the Part 1 documentary. the live stream footage. That was another thing I clipped. It's much more boring. So, anyways, this one's funny.
Oh my God! Hold on a second. Mac coming in. I gotta say
Yeah, right. Go ahead and spend that money you don't have.
We're giving Mary cocaine and alcohol. I would have called the cops.
That you have to
Risking
borrow
professional
from
reputation
somebody
here.
else.
Giving a 19-year-old alcohol is a risk to your
just
professional
really quick,
reputation.
Sean
Okay,
wants
so
to
I think
know
that calling the
why
cops is a
Rachel's
very
kicked
bad
off.
idea,
She
as
just
Tim says, and
left.
I'll quote Tim. And
she
this is
wasn't
why
really
I know you don't
kicked
like Tim, but
But,
Tim says some truthful shit here and there. When has calling? Hold on, let me say this. When has calling the cops ever de-escalated a situation? Now, when Tim said that to me,
I didn't say that.
it makes it. I was like, I went through my mind. I was like, when has calling the cops ever de-escalated?
Do you guys have anything that you're working on now that you know?
Like,
oh, that's the.
Well, that's why.
That's not good to fucking like. Anytime cops come in, he's laughing at it. So all right.
Let me say this on like I used to have the perception of cocaine where I was like, but let me say this: if you like movies and videos, you better get used to people being on cocaine. Just get used to it. As I say to everybody, whatever your engine runs on, whatever fuel you stick in your tank is fine with me. Just pay attention to the fumes. You know what I mean? If somebody's eating beans on my sets all the time and farting all the time and everyone's complaining, I'm gonna kick them off too. Probably before somebody that's got like a runny nose from coke. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Tim, you know nothing. You're an old druggie who failed in the film industry. Cry about it is what Max says. And dude, like, okay, so you made a documentary that made me actually like the people that you're like trying to fucking brag on. You're like talking about.
The funny thing is he keeps talking about film.
Look how
Watch the
buttery he
alcohol
gets.
footage, Cloud. Okay, so earlier I was talking. Okay, here's one thing: is he's asking why I skipped the alcohol footage. First off,
can I stop you? Fuck Mac. Stop talking about him. You're wasting my time now. I have other shit to do. Fuck that stupid bearded, fucking neck bearded retard. If you want to have a conversation with him later when I'm not on stream, fine. But I have to drive to the airport to look at a location for somebody that's wanting to invest
all right, go ahead.
in me. So tell Mac whatever you want
Damn,
later. I don't have time for that fucking faggot. There's nothing he can teach me. There's nothing he can talk to me about. He is a small-minded Southern California, borderline retarded looking dipshit. If you want me to be really, really forward with you, dude, your eyes let me know that you were fucking born incorrectly. You were probably facing the wrong way when they ripped you out of your mom. And it must have been tough being raised by a cuck and or a single mom. I don't want to insult you about that. It's tough. But you gotta fucking fuck up. You gotta fucking fuck up. I think I might have hit a few nails on the head, but seriously, dude, wearing a mock turtleneck that is It's just fucking gay. Take it from me. I used to wear mock turtlenecks. My sisters used to dress me when I was in high school, and people called me a faggot in high school. And you know what I did? I dropped somebody, and then no one called me a faggot anymore. Okay, so if this is your means of establishing dominance, is this your only way of establishing dominance, is to come up with a monetary system and then tell everybody that they were treating the girls bad? Shut the fuck up, you fucking little bitch. But that's how things stand. Like, I'm not gonna give that kid any more of my fucking time. I dispose cattle bodies. I'm not someone you fuck with.
All right, that clip's gonna go go around the fucking X Games. All right. Oh man.
Seriously, like, there's nothing I can learn from.
I knew it was gonna take it. I knew it. We needed you on here, man.
It's just hurling comment, like insults. You want to get an insult, dude?
Is deplorable. What?
100%.
I know what you gotta do now, Mac. You gotta drop Tim, because then he can't call you gay anymore for those mock turtleneck shirts you wear.
Oh
that was just my costume for the show. Like,
yeah.
It's not something I wear like normally. I have the most boring attire you could possibly think of. But the thing is I was I'm going to have fun with this guy. I think that's one thing that I'm gonna keep on doing even past ADL, because he seems like a gift that'll keep on giving.
He is. It's just how like his like aura instantly changed after he read that. He was like, I gotta go to the airport.
Don't ever talk about Mac.
Oh, what a sad guy. What a sad man. Cloud thinks he's a famous filmmaker too because he pays to go to film premieres. John turned Mac into an internet troll. Oh no, Mac.
He's become the villain now.
Yeah. You live long enough, you become the villain, Mac. Remember that.
Mac's villain arc. It's like it's so over now.
Alright. Oh, what are we at? We're at 2.5 hours. My gosh. That's crazy. Well, you can slur now. So go hard.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But I'll probably wrap it up soon, to be fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I'm so glad that I got you guys on here. I'm so happy that you've been able to like say your piece, because like I felt that in this space you guys were disrespected to like an astronomical point. Like especially you, Mara, and the space. Like you weren't even allowed into it unless you made a video apologizing, and that's ridiculous on it.
Yeah, which is Mawa needs to apologize to me for me wobbing her. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
You're
mad, bruh. You're just mad because I bitched you. I literally made you bend over. Like, cope. It's your own damn fault.
Exactly. And yeah, I don't think that you guys would definitely like.
You guys were owed better than that.
Definitely.
All of you guys.
Thanks.
Because at the end of the day, like people forget, we're all humans. We all have emotions. Like you see us on a screen, it doesn't mean we're not real people. That's like the gist of it, and it makes me sad that people just don't have that same respect. So, but well, I'm totally expecting to look on my Twitter after this and have like the 40 boys in my DMs telling me mean things. So I'm looking forward to that, guys.
40 boys.
The 40 boys.
More than likely.
I used to call them the 40 goys, but then people were like,
It's more like 4 boys now.
It is.
Yeah, 4 boys.
No,
I naked, pretty much together.
I can count them all in my hand. It's John. It's Van Love America. It's Hades Moon. It's Ben Palaskis, and I. Am I missing somebody?
You're missing Tim Staber.
Oh, and Tim Stabers, and I guess Cloud Runner. So it's those guys. Tim Stabers, Cloud Runner. They're nothing.
So we're back to the
Hades.
4
All
boys.
he's gonna do is just be passive aggressive. Yeah, basically.
Oh,
So,
and
that gives you an idea.
Shorty is half as well. A 40 boy apparently.
Shoddy is.
She just
I will say.
If you ever listen to this, don't be a 40 boy, Shoddy.
Look,
You owe yourself than that.
Anyway,
I'm gonna speak. I like personally love Shorty. She was in my like she was in Bitch Tank with me. I've never had an issue with her. I think she is a wonderful person. You know, watching her on
Right.
ADL like fighting for you guys to go back to the house and everything broke my heart. The way that I've seen John in the past treat her has broken my fucking heart. I want only the best for her in every way, shape, or form. All the girls that were on Bitch Tank, I only want the best for them because they've been through some shit, man. They've been through some shit.
Yeah, I talked to her not long ago, just about like a couple things, and she, you know, like she just is just trying to live her life, do her thing. She was just at a con, you know, like she like we may disagree about some things, but at the end of the day, Peach, love her.
Yeah.
Want nothing but the best for her. Truly.
It's just that anybody that's going to associate with John is going to go down with him in some way or another.
She doesn't really necessarily associate with him anymore for that reason. She does associate
No one
with
should.
him, and that's my only point of contention. But again, at the end of the day, she doesn't have any malice toward anybody, even if she should, which is kind of just how she is.
Yeah.
This is just my prediction.
Mhm.
I don't think that Shoddy will remain with these guys. But a little bit to kind of go back to what we were talking about before, I think that Blue is going to re-enter the scene. I really think so, especially because John's interacting with him on Twitter and such. I think they're going to mend that relationship, and just like I predicted before, he's going to come back into the NCO.
Yo, seriously, if he does that, that would
it would solidify everything. It would solidify everything.
Yeah, right. It would invalidate half the stuff that he said about Blue. He was like, "Oh yeah, no, he scammed me. He whipped me off. We're not talking anymore." And then just get back with him, probably get the money off him, and be like, "Oh yeah, we're cool now. We forgave each other."
It's a Christian thing to do.
Guys, it's just me being a Christian.
A real Christian.
They love each other too much to stay away.
Dude, that meme, and it's like somebody posted on Twitter or something, and it's like a picture of John and Blue, and it's like they kissed after this.
Shout out Super Gay Fox News. Shout out Slippy. That was both of them.
That was so funny.
They were amazing. They were so good. I was like, they look like they're getting married. Yeah. Like it looks like John's proposing. Like what's happening here?
Oh, maybe the bro tank was just the friends they made along the way. That was the real ADL. All right. Blue twicked John's. Blue tickled John's balls. That was in John-isms as well. That wasn't me trying to be John. All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think that we've pretty much covered like almost everything that we could without getting to for YouTube. The boyfriends they made along the way. Yeah. That was it. John's boyfriend he made along the way. But I want to thank you guys for coming so much, and it's awesome. You guys have been nothing but wonderful and like incredible guests, and please
absolutely thank you
anytime. Sometimes we just talk about dumb shit, and sometimes we play games. So
yeah, it was. You guys were very pleasant to have on, and it was great talking to you guys and just asking you questions.
Yeah, thank you for taking
time. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's all good.
Absolutely. I'm praying nothing but the best for you guys. If you want to drop your socials right now, now's the time to do it. Drop them to socials.
Absolutely. I'll go. I don't know about anybody else. I'll totally go. Foid __ SOL FOID _ SOL is my Twitter. Zio lives on Instagram.
Oh, you can still remember that.
Yeah, totes. Right. Well, that's why I said Foid. Okay, not everybody's chronically online like me. Okay, it's Foid _ SOL.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. Zio lives, just XIO lives on Instagram. All types of stuff going on. I'm going to dethrone Van from the underground fashion game. Got an NFT line out. Check it out.
Oh shoot!
Nice.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. And my Twitter is at Betts Cairo, BETTS Cairo, CAIROH. I do video gaming streams. I play The Sims. I'm obsessed with The Sims, and I love to yap. So that's pretty much what my streaming stuff is like. But yeah, check it out.
Awesome. And Matt?
Mine's really easy. I just have the Twitter. It's at McGrath_X. So at MACGRATH_X. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with the Rumble. I'm gonna forget about that platform, and I don't know.
Good call.
I'm just gonna delete the 300 gigabytes of VODs that I have on my computer and just I don't know, play some games.
You
That's
should
what
put
I
it
wanna
on
do
a
right now.
hard drive. Like, you should make it a really euphoric experience. Put it on a hard drive and then give it like a Viking funeral. Just set it on fire into a river somewhere and just be like, "Fuck you." Like, I think that would be the best way to end it all. Just set it on fucking fire, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Or just keep it, just in case, because you never know.
I have also thought
You
that as
always
well.
have it.
Some of those VODs we don't have. No, but like the full everything. Some of it's just like, random B-roll, if you will, I'm gonna call it, even though it's not, like, just stuff that happened that, to make people's points, things said in the backgrounds, etc. A lot of it is on Fish Tank Archive on YouTube. A lot of it.
Mara, let me know, just a side conversation. Let me know anything that you need, like make a list and then send it to me, and then I'll try to like find it myself before I delete all this stuff.
Word.
Sweet. All right. Well,
Noted.
thank you everybody for tuning in. And
Oh wait, I can plug. I think I know what Augie's Twitter is. I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Plug Augie.
Fuck. Let me find it.
Oh, I can do that for you right now. It's
Okay, do that, please.
at Mogustine, at MOGUSTENE at Mogustine.
Cool. And shout out to Augustine for showing up as well, especially on holiday. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. But yes, shout out to everybody who tuned in today, and say hi to your mom for me. Bye. All right.